and then he picked up a quarterback.
Welcome back.
What up?
There's a win.
In the middle of it.
What
Just
up?
right in it, dude. Hey, Tim. Tim, you're being talked about. Zach was just saying how much he admired you and your win against him in 32. Zach, if you want to elaborate on that, bless him. But welcome back, guys. Playoff bound. Quick question.
We were not live that whole fucking time?
No.
No.
All right.
Guys, that was behind the scenes.
Well, actually,
Would
not
you-
really.
Oh
'cause you
my
can't
god.
watch
I'm
it.
glad that's not part of the podcast.
Would you guys trade a playoff? Adrian, where's Adrian? You're
Yes,
here.
right here.
Would you trade a playoff first in a meaningless sleeper league? Would you trade a playoff first for Debo right now?
If you were competing?
So I'm the 3 seed going against the 6 seed.
Yes.
I'm competing.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems
Yeah.
like an easy yes, right?
Why is it meaningless?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you thought it was cool to have a pet on your lap, huh?
She's crying at my.
Meaningless just because I don't think I'll stay in it next year.
So you can trade picks, or you already have the pick.
I have the pick, yeah. And I might stay
Somebody
in it.
else's
It's just-
pick, not
it's
your
just-
pick.
It's not too much. It's like a $50 league, and
If you look
it just
at
doesn't mean too much because the winnings aren't much. And
Well,
If you
what's
look
the
at-
argument? What's the argument for the first though?
the argument for the first is just currency. Like, do I spend my currency today on Debo, and Debo's schedule, just for giggles?
Do you get him for next year, or is he a 1-year rental?
Yeah, no, it's dynasty.
Okay.
It's dynasty. So we get Arizona, Baltimore, and then Washington in the title game
matter.
if I make it.
Doesn't matter with Debo. He's
Yeah, I
he's
don't
such
care.
he's such a gadget guy.
You're
doesn't
right.
matter.
Okay, put it this way: Would you send a playoff first for T. Higgins or Devonta Smith?
Smith, not Higgins.
Really?
Yeah, I would.
What
for
has
both.
Higgins done this year?
He was injured all year.
Well, I wouldn't trade him
What has he
right
done
now. But I
this
see,
year?
you're saying
Really
that
quiet,
tier.
though.
You're saying that tier of player.
Yeah, that's where I have Debo.
So you have Debo with Devonta Smith, huh?
Yeah,
Tier-
the difference
tier
for me
three.
though is that I actually have Debo above Devonta Smith because the offense is better and his role on the team. He actually has a role on the team, unlike last year, where like he's the guy that's getting. I don't know if it's a jet.
Anything, maybe not
Like-
everything, but he gets anything.
He's getting the off-tempo carries and he's getting the receptions.
he has more rushing touchdowns than he has receiving touchdowns.
That's what I'm saying. Like
And he has-
that's
he has-
hyper valuable.
That's
But Adrian,
Crazy
do you spend that currency on a Debo? I mean,
Yeah.
Easy,
100%.
easy.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's a very tough question.
Yeah, I
no,
agree.
it's not. But I presented to you guys because is that what we're spending our first in the playoffs for? A
Yeah.
Debo? I haven't.
Oh, I would
followed-
trade. Yeah, that's an
It
easy
sounds-
accept.
It sounds easy enough because of what he's been the last, several weeks now. But I just don't know, like,
Longevity, where you think it's at.
that's all. And
Let me-
that's
let
kind of
me
what it
ease
is.
Let me ease your mind.
Okay.
Debo, start of the season, electric, doing great, gets injured,
Okay.
misses 2 games, has 2 games where he plays and he's not healthy, has less than 2 fantasy points, somehow squeaks out an 11-point game somewhere along that injury. Comes back from injury, electric. Fully healthy Debo, you're golden. He's turning 28 in a month.
Still happy with that.
He's got 2 years of high value to this offense, I think,
Right.
at least.
3 years.
I have
Yeah.
I have him wide receiver 18 dynasty.
Yeah, he's a easy.
Yeah, that's about where I have Adrian.
He's a pretty comfortable. It's a 16-team league or 12.
12.
So you're
Both
giving
people
up like the 109, 110.
Yeah,
Worst
I
case.
go against the guy. This guy's smart. I go against the guy whose first I hold. So if I beat him, then he'll be the 107 or
Yeah,
whatever, depending
7,
on
8,
who else
9.
loses.
I would
Yes,
say
7 or 8.
if you're drafting at that position, you're hoping that player becomes Debo Samuel.
So
That would be like best case scenario. Well, not
Well,
best case, but that would be like
best case
that would be
scenario.
great.
That's about
that is That is what
Draft-
you want. Anything
what you
better
want.
is great.
Yeah.
Anything worse is typical.
So
Yeah.
and yes, well said. So really what I'm looking at is it's not just a first for Debo, it's can I package my Rashee Rice and first, or I also own Tank Dell.
Don't.
So do I
No.
own
Don't.
You don't need to.
Well, but if you're leaving, here's the thing: if you're
oh
leaving,
no, I don't own Tank Dell in this one. So Rashee, so that's what I'm saying. Do I add a first to Rice or a first to Godwin or a first to Dalton Kincaid and try to tier up? That's all.
Dalton
Oh,
Kincaid's worth more than Debo, in my opinion.
I see what you're saying.
No, so-
you're saying settle for Debo or package it and go for something else better.
That's right. So I'm not saying just like is it worth the value? Because yes, that's easy. But or do I just tier up from another take Kincaid and that first, which arguably is at best the 107 or 108. So do I take that 107 or 108 at best?
I stay cheap.
Add
I stay cheap because what happens if you take those two guys or the pick and the one guy, you tier up and that guy doesn't have a good game. Wasted.
so,
I think
so here's,
you-
I was
here's where
into
I
the
was
first
going.
and
He's
multiple
potentially leaving.
So worst case scenario is I lose. That pick is now devalued a little bit because that guy advanced,
Mhm.
but I still hold Debo.
Right.
I think Debo's worth the 107.
But if you're trading up, I would go
Yeah.
get the best player you can get, and don't worry about your assets because you might leave. Go
Yeah.
win your title, walk away.
That's the other
And
option.
That's more just like the league is. I could exit out of it. It's kind of dying off a little bit, but I like my team. It's more the tiering up or taking Debo. But I like how Adrian said, take the cheap asset, right? I'm spending a piece of currency that.
But if you're not coming back, it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's a
Spend the
chance.
most and get the best you can.
What Adrian's saying is that you don't want to sacrifice any of your other startable
Yeah.
players.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
for sure. You're not getting rid of a starter.
Well,
But if I
all
can package up
I
a
guess-
first and Puka for Lamb,
Yeah,
or
because Debo can score just as many points as your tiered up player
you're right.
in a given week.
Yeah,
So,
that's a
Okay.
good point. Even though we would all probably say he's not a tier 1 player, he can put up tier 1 numbers.
That's
on
what
any given week.
if you could get Lamb for Puka and a first, I'd probably do that instead.
There's no way.
Even though we just talked about Debo, I mean those are both like plus EV trades for me. Even if you're trying to leave next year.
Yeah, and it wasn't. It was more just like,
Who are you putting Debo? Who are you taking out of your starting lineup to put Debo in for?
hey, that was a really, really smart question. That was because I thought about that too. Who am I replacing?
Are
You know, so
Nice job, Mitch.
it's a 3 wide receiver league. I got Puka, Keenan Allen, Rashee Rice. So I'm not super happy.
No
with that,
Herbert now.
That's a huge upgrade from Rashee Rice.
Keenan
but I
Allen.
think I'll keep Rashee Rice in.
Keenan Allen's not.
take Keenan
anything.
Allen.
I would.
I'd probably take.
I've been
Keenan
trying
Allen.
to get Keenan Allen, and I was going to try to get him from Earl in an NFL league. Not a chance now.
Back away, cheese touch.
Hey, remember when I traded Keenan Allen for Mark Andrews?
oh.
Rub it into
Those
Roy.
those are ones you never talk about, and it still is super awesome.
Hey, Lamar Jackson's on the block. He's gonna get injured in 2 weeks, but
For whatever
he's
reason,
right now.
Lamar Jackson. Nobody wants Lamar Jackson.
Hey, I wanted Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
You know what
I
was
waited
thinking
too
about
long.
today?
Where have you
players-
been, Kyle? Have you
You
not
know-
been fantasy?
Not really.
So-
I'm trying. I started my job started back up, and I'm in the office full time, and I have like an hour one-way commute. So I'm trying to rebalance my work-life
Oh,
situation.
Yeah.
So
the time
I
you-
haven't been active lately, and I don't have access to my phone all day.
Why?
I have. I work in
Top secret.
government contracting. Yeah.
that's dope.
Is it really top secret?
No.
I feel like I should.
But
It's
Tell
not-
us.
I still don't have access to my phone. It's like a building thing.
Well, that's fun. How about this sound right here? That's like such a satisfying sound. Adrian, what's your favorite sound? Give it to me, dude.
Oh boy.
Give me Give me
That's
something.
a hard question. I don't know.
I bet.
I don't know
What
if I have
about
it.
like starting up your Mustang?
That's a nice sound.
That's a pretty sound right there.
You know what comes to mind for me first is jump around.
I like it. I like it.
It's
Wisconsin,
Talking about the song?
dude. Camp Randall in between third and fourth quarter is
Those are some of
electric.
the best
awesome.
mornings of my entire life.
Like when you hear it ramp up.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
like the very start of it, third quarter, every game.
Yeah. That's
So
cool.
what, third quarter of what? Wisconsin?
Yeah, the
Wisconsin
Badger
football games.
the football games.
They play it
I
between
don't-
third and fourth quarter,
Yo.
and the whole stadium goes nuts.
Yeah,
It's
that's super
insane.
fun.
It's one of those. Like, what do they call it? Events where like the entire stadium is shaking, and this is like a concrete stadium, right? So, and it's still
Oh yeah.
it's bouncing.
It's
yeah.
cool. It's really
Did you
cool.
guys go to Wisconsin?
Yeah, I did.
No, I did not, but I've been to Badger games.
It's pretty well known that you're usually into college football if you're like in the South or something like that, or you went to college there, right? And then you're kind of into college football.
Yeah. It also depends. Like the South, a lot of those states don't have any teams in the NFL, so all they have is college football.
Right.
Or if
No
you're
teams in any sport,
Louisiana.
for that matter, in many of those states, it's a college.
yeah, like what the fuck does Alabama have? Do they have lacrosse?
Nothing.
Their sister.
Actually, I have some very nice golf courses.
That's
So-
Tennessee.
That doesn't count.
Golf.
Yeah. No, for like
Professional sports.
that you
Yeah,
watch.
I don't.
Fishing.
I watch golf. I love to watch golf.
Stop it. You guys
So
are
you love to watch golf.
It's so good.
stop it.
The PNC is this
You love
weekend.
it, though?
For all
Are
the
you
parents.
live golf? Are you team live golf or PGA?
I'm not. I just want to watch good golf. I don't care
Yeah.
where it is. I don't care who you are. I don't care who's paying you.
Excuse
I want
me.
to watch good golf.
So it's you watch sports because they're fun to watch, and you wish you could do what they're doing. That's part of why you watch sports.
And because
Yeah.
you wish you could make what they're making.
I love golf, and I wish I could just like have a tenth of Tiger Woods' talent.
I'll be honest with you. If I
Way
tried,
to
if
stay
I tried
pro.
to learn how to play golf, I could be Tiger Woods.
I might have a tenth of his talent. Could
I'm
be.
pretty
You're
good at
so stupid.
I'm pretty good at
I
miniature golf.
Yeah.
Miniature golf's hard.
I love mini
How
golf.
about that one where the
My
thing's
short game is
swinging by
terrible.
the hole? How about this one?
Anyway,
That one's awesome. Yeah, I don't know. You tell me you love something next time. I'm going to question like how great it is because you loving golf.
going to get his Tiger Woods signed flag.
Stop it.
Flag? Oh, flag from the pin.
I don't have a flag from Tiger. I don't have anything from Tiger Woods. I don't have any golf.
Oh, I thought you were getting golf
No.
memorabilia.
Daddy pop. Actually, I'm gonna go get a daddy pop.
What a tease.
Who's relevant now in golf?
Um,
Oh, I like that one.
a lot of the same people from a few years ago.
So I
That one's very tasty, but that one has
Yep.
fruit in it, so it's
Yeah.
cheating. It's very good though.
I was gonna buy LaCroix orange cream because of
Ooh.
you.
Yeah, you should try it next time. It's really, really yummy. Which league are we doing first?
I've got GA up, but
Okay.
so Kyle says Lamar is still on the table. I tried to get a deal done with him, and he told me JT running backs aren't valuable in my leagues, is what he told me.
I
Well,
don't think it takes a specific type of league for running backs to not be valuable. I don't. What would make him valuable in what type of league? Would it take a points per carry league? Kyle?
I think in PPR, like pass catching running backs are crazy valuable.
But not to Kyle. Running backs are worthless to Kyle.
Running backs fucking suck this year, except for Christian McCaffrey.
No, every year.
Raheem
Every,
Mostert
guys,
and
every
Travis
single
Kelce.
year. It's every year. It's been forever.
Okay, here's my theory. The way that the NFL, not fantasy, the NFL has been trending, it has trended towards reducing the big plays and more specifically reducing the running back plays, right? Like defenses are more ready for the stuff that's been working for the past 10 years, and they're adjusting accordingly.
Except
Okay, go ahead.
pass catching running backs.
Right.
Which ones?
Jonathan Taylor.
Christian McCaffrey.
James Cook.
Yeah.
Jacobs.
Travis
Jacobs.
Etienne.
Okay, I heard one
Christian
player
McCaffrey.
out of that list. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey is the only one that I would really consider
All right.
like
I'm about to hit
being
you.
Yeah.
successful.
I'm about to hit you with
Jameer
some
Gibbs.
numbers.
Pickle's favorite A-Chain.
Ah,
Jonathan
how do you-
Taylor. Jonathan Taylor's been hurt. He was the #1 running back in the league when he wasn't.
I don't disagree that Jonathan Taylor is super valuable, but from a redraft perspective, he's been worthless.
Okay.
We're not
Question
talking about
for you. Question
redraft.
for you, Kyle.
We're
How
talking
many?
about our fantasy, my leagues.
Yeah, but
How
but
many-
running backs have a smaller window than any other position.
That
Go ahead.
small window is still 4 or 5 years.
Go ahead.
Pretty easy.
Yeah.
How many catches do you like right now through week 14 does a running back need to have had to be considered relevant in a
4.
fantasy league? Like
4
on the
again.
season through 14 weeks, you're like, if they got this many catches, I would say that's probably pretty relevant in
30.
leagues. What like how
35.
many do you think?
35.
I
35
would
catches.
say-
Questions to Kyle.
I would say 0 because
Sorry.
there are still running backs in the league that don't need any catches.
Right, but I'm saying in a full PPR, pass catching running
Good
backs,
value.
like their value is much higher than just a workhorse ground and pound Derrick Henry type. Derrick Henry's not catching that.
like if they're splitting a backfield.
Doesn't
No,
matter
I'm,
if they're splitting or not.
I'm just saying like how many receptions do you think a running back needs to have to be like, okay, that running back is probably worth having in a PPR, like he's fantasy relevant enough for me.
He
That's
has
the question I'm
value
asking.
for you.
There's too many variables. Let's say 5 per game.
On the season, 5 a game. So that would be
per. Yeah.
So you think 70 catches? Nobody
That's
has
too
70
much.
catches.
No, yeah, that's
too
Nobody has 70 catches.
Yeah.
50 catches this
The,
season.
the number is 50 in my head
50 on the
is.
season or 50 through week 14?
through
Our season.
weekly.
Season.
Season. Okay. Right now, there are 3 running backs with 50 catches already. That's Alvin Kamara, Breece Hall, and Christian McCaffrey.
And Alvin Kamara,
and-
that's awesome.
And
Yeah,
Tony Pollard has 49.
Tony Pollard was worthless this year because he also was.
I know. He's not been great. There's
I
another
forgot about
10.
Kamara. Kamara's the
That's
other guy
awesome.
that I would consider an actual like he's gonna win you a league.
There's another
player.
10 that have.
But JT's not.
No, because he's
He's
injured again.
won a league before for people.
I'll buy him. I'll happily buy him from you, and I'll run him into the ground next year because he'll be just fine next year. But this year he's been trash.
There's
But
another.
it's not. It wasn't about this year. It was about going forward.
Yeah, you won't sell him to me.
I tried, and you told me no.
I'm not giving you a quarterback for Jonathan Taylor.
Straight up.
Yeah,
No, it
that's
wasn't
not
straight
fair.
up.
It wasn't straight up, but it was not enough to make me want to sell Lamar.
Zach,
Just-
you already don't like Kyle's. Like your strategy is much different from Kyle's. So for him to not like what you're selling is, I mean, it's no surprise, right?
But his comments was what I was getting at. That he was.
What did you
basically-
offer?
I
Gotcha.
don't
I hear
remember.
what you're
The
saying.
context wasn't it. It wasn't like an outrageously low ball offer. It was more like I didn't want to give up the last like sure thing I had for a
Another
stud
sure
running
thing?
back and
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
change. I forget what else it was.
JT and Dotson for Lamar.
Yeah, so it's just JT.
I'd probably take Lamar in that instance too. To be honest,
That was
You-
but
you
love
he did-
JT. JT's valuable. I'd probably take Lamar.
Oh, Zach knew it wasn't going to get accepted. He just wanted a counter. But you know that Dotson has no value for you.
He's the second. He's like a second round pick, like
Oh,
mid second. Which
Can I say I'm one that doesn't like JT as well.
You don't like him because
I even have a Jonathan Taylor jersey. Okay, I love the player.
He played at Wisconsin.
Fuck yeah.
Oh!
The
He just
glory days, man.
he scares me, and I don't want him. I wouldn't even trade Rashad
Third.
White for him.
Whoa.
Traded third for him.
you would.
Would you trade away Tajay Spears for Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think everybody
Wait,
should. Just curious. That's all.
you'd prefer. Now it's tough to say that because Rashad White's like RB4.
Well, yeah, he's doing good, and he gets catches.
48 catches on the season.
Hey guys,
More
if
weeks to
Rashad,
go. Say it.
Stop it.
Sir.
Sneaky good.
Hey,
You know
Pickles.
exactly what you're doing, Mitch, because you're smiling every time you say it.
Dude, I'm just giving you the numbers. You're like, oh, they don't catch enough passes. There's like 15 guys that are gonna have 50 catches on their back.
Did I say that? I don't think I said that.
You kind of said it.
Hey, Pickle, how did you
Rewind it.
go from really, really bad up until this year to like pretty good?
He starts to
It
listen
was
to
kind of-
us.
I
and
made
Did you just
one-
actually pay attention?
I made one playoff in NDL League.
well,
I'm
to
not
be
so sure
fair,
that-
in 32, you were pretty much full on tanking.
Yes, everything went to crap.
No, but most
JP,
things-
everything went to crap pretty quick too.
But most things you said up until
Oh.
this year were
Oh.
not good.
Well,
So
thanks.
it's not just like your performance, because it takes even good players. It takes a few years to really get the game and get the start sits and get waivers and get trades. I mean, it takes time. So
One
for you to
thing-
be bad, you should have been bad. I was really bad.
I
We
would
all
say
were.
talking to people like you guys and just in the leagues and seeing the chatter more. Ash is another good person who has a lot to say. I don't necessarily
does.
listen to all of it, but
We
like,
should listen to it.
you
but
switch
We'll
from.
decline his offers.
I think, I don't know, if you're coming from redraft leagues, you get into like very polarizing takes like, this guy's done for the year, I don't want him anymore. And so then you kind of take that mindset where like somebody like Jalen Waddle or Tyler Lockett for years, right? Where you're like, oh, these guys are worthless, I don't want them. You either get rid of them for nothing or you never go and acquire them for fairly cheap, like, because you have to keep, it's dynasty, so it's long term. So you think about JT, he's injured this year, but 2 years ago you're like, okay, how's that going to look like? I don't know. I get a little more perspective into what's going to happen next year helps. But just chatter, just being around people that are talking about it.
Quitting your job helped.
You're gonna. I can't say that it didn't help.
Yeah.
Just like being around it more, I think you just pick up things. I don't think I could articulate something I've done to turn.
You
it
definitely
around.
listen to Ash unless it's involving a trade, and then I don't listen to what he says after.
The king of telling you your players are terrible and his players are good, so you.
He's
should
a good salesman, and I don't even think he does that. I don't think he necessarily.
No,
does
he doesn't really. He doesn't really do that.
No, but he will. He's just a very crafty salesman with how he angles his words and his agenda. He's really good. Because he'll hit you up and he'll be like, "All right, no worries," and then you're like,
No dramas.
Yeah, no dramas. So he didn't try too hard, because as soon as someone tries too hard, you're like, red flags.
Yeah.
But he'll back up, but then he'll be sure to send you another offer
Next week.
Something he did in JV.
Like
I know it's not NDL League, but JV. I had TJ Hawkinson. He asked me like 4 or 5 times if I wanted to make a trade because Hawkinson had a week 14 bye. He's like, you want to get a tight end locked up for week 14? It's like preseason. It's like week 3. It's like week 6. A couple of years ago, I'm like, yeah, I need to get that taken care of. It's like, no, I'll wait until week 13. And
It's
then
like he's got a
see if I
spreadsheet.
need to make a trade. But like a couple of years ago, I would have been like, yeah, let's make a trade right now. And then be like, oh, I'm taking care of my buys. I'm planning ahead. It's like, just wait.
Good job. Well, I think
I bounce stuff off him all the time too. Just I don't listen to him when it comes to trade.
Yeah, you got to be careful if it's
trade for him that he's thinking about right now.
That's the worst. I had him in like 3 trades this year where he's like, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so it's a good offer. And then he rejects it. I hate that. I hate I'm thinking about it. Reject.
And it's always a very well thought out accept or reject or counter. There is always an angle, but so tell us what the trade is. He won't hear this.
No.
He's not.
Zach plays it pretty close to the vest. He does not divulge trade information until after it's been rejected or accepted. And even still, it's pretty.
Sometimes I still don't.
Zach does not like to give up that information.
It was early on in my tenure, and
Very close to the vest.
I'm pretty open. I'll tell everyone. I mean, the same conference, the same league. And I probably shouldn't, but I said something. He's like, "Yeah, right. Not saying anything. You're in my division, idiot." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah,
I'll just say this.
Oh boy.
He'll have Kelsey and Gibbs in 32.
Kelsey and Gibbs in 32.
Oh, so you just went around and traded with your division mate.
Oh, I warned you all. I said.
So you're trying to help him get to number 3.
Gibbs and who?
Kelsey.
Kelsey.
Gibbs and Kelsey in 32.
Better not involve picks. He don't give up picks.
Gibbs and
Very rarely he will though.
He'll probably reject it.
Gibbs and Kelsey. So you want
Actually,
Mark Andrews and Joe Burrow. Mark
At
Andrews,
least.
Gibbs and Kelsey. Kenneth Walker and Andrews.
Albuquerque.
How's that?
Zach's not going to
Andrews,
say.
Andrews and Walker.
I'm just letting you know who he might have on his team. If he takes this trade.
Yeah,
I would be a little. I don't know. I would be
who else is
surprised, Zach, if you were making a trade for Joe Burrow, having Mahomes and Purdy right now. I would be surprised if you went after Burrow as well. But I know you love
Mahomes,
Burrow, and I know Mahomes is off his contract this year.
He probably won't be on my team.
So I know
Purdy's going to be a holdout. I mean, I can't move on from Purdy. So
what are you doing with your 32 team next year?
I don't know yet.
You retool and you try and compete. I think Zach was talking to us about how he's made the playoffs a ton of times in 32.
9 out of 11 years.
Okay. Thank you, Sean McDermott. So
Fucking Rain Man.
So it's interesting. Like if you're constantly retooling, like that's almost I really like that instead of like full on tank for 2 years and then try and compete 1 year.
It all depends on your assets.
It does, but it's so. I mean, you've pointed out like how hard it is to win a title unless your name's Ash and you're in 32, or Joe. I think has won a lot. But like, if you're only giving yourself one legitimate shot every 3 years because you're always trying to like tank and rebuild and tank, it's like, oh man, that's really hard. The stars need to align. But if you can retool every year and take a playoff team and always be a playoff team, that's a lot better.
Well, usually. Yes, you're right. What usually happens is the full rebuild oftentimes is followed by a major playoff run or a title win. Because for me, I've done it and it's taken everything I had. And maybe I didn't need to do all that, but I did it anyway.
So for me, it comes down to what players do I have? Are they all young? So I can just find a piece here or there to plug in to beef up the team, or are all of my players starting to age to where their trade value is not that great and I might as well just scrap it all? The fact that I got Lamb a couple of weeks ago and I have ETN and Purdy makes it a little bit more hard for me to do a full-on rebuild.
Dude,
if you're holding old guys for that long, you're not thinking ahead. Because you should be, like Pickle said, you should be slowly building.
And I haven't had that situation.
I mean, not slowly.
Why I've been consistently regular season successful in this league. Is I retool a lot. I take those draft picks and I've hit a lot of draft picks in that league.
Well,
so then you have young players in.
Okay, can I soapbox just real quick before we go to the leagues?
Love it.
Sure.
Okay. Top 12.
Soap it up.
Top 12 flex. 9 wide receivers and 3 running backs.
Hang on. What?
Wait, what are you doing?
Top 12?
I'm doing week 1 through 14 in, I think it's JB I did. JB.
Oh.
Okay.
On the season so far, 9 wide receivers, 3 running backs. They are the culprits that you'd think.
I see what you're saying. Christian McCaffrey, Raheem Mostert,
and I think the
was
third one is
the third one?
No, I think it's
ETN.
ETN, because ETN got injured for a while. Top 24 is 15 wide receivers, 7 running back, and 2 tight ends. Okay, there's a group of 4 in there, back to back. It's the Kamara, Joe Mixon group. I think HM might be in there. I'm not sure. And then top 36 is 21 wide receiver, 2 tight end, 13 running back. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. Why would I spend top dollar for a running back when I could spend top dollar for a wide receiver who's going to get me more points? And it's the
Yeah,
same
but we know all
But
this.
what's the drop off on?
This is
on
the
these
argument
top-
I'm saying that I don't like running backs right now.
I get what you're saying, but the drop off for running backs is so quick.
It's
Like-
not. There's 3 guys in the top 12, and then there's groupings. There's groupings at 15 to 17. There's groupings at 25 to 29, and then there's another one at around the 36 range.
That's what he says. They drop quick. You're talking about running backs?
But they're replaceable. They're literally replaceable, except for Christian McCaffrey and Raheem Mostert. I guess. This
Yeah,
year.
obviously
You're not wrong.
your top guys, like they're not even in the conversation because it's a foregone conclusion. But I don't know. I guess I see what you're saying, because you look at the running back 4, he's getting you 200 points on the year versus the wide receiver 4, who's getting you 270.
Yeah. Okay. It's literally back to back to back. Rashad White, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara. They are grouped within 4 points of each other. And none
Kamara
of them
didn't
are
play for
super
the first
expensive.
4 weeks.
Those are guys that you like. Those are guys that you want, though, because
Yeah.
otherwise you're gonna have to start people like
But
Jalen Warren.
But this is, and I'm starting Jalen. I'm not starting Jalen. I'm starting Najee Harris in some leagues, and I'm fine with that.
Really?
Yeah, because
Oh.
everyone else is having
Not if
trouble
you're
too.
going to compete. I mean,
There's
if
not
you're
a lot
not
of people.
if you're going to compete, you're not
There's
happy
not a
with.
ton of people that have multiple. They have Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, and Derrick Henry. And even then, if you have all of that, you paid a lot of cost for it, and you're not super happy with it because you don't have Mostert or Christian McCaffrey.
To see, the reason why you shouldn't be and you're not happy with Najee there is because of the cost. Now, if you got him at RB3 cost, you're happy. But if you got him is that a redraft league that you're talking about?
No, it's Dynasty.
And
Well,
so
it's
you've
just the
had him for a
projection.
while. You probably
I've had him for I think 2 years now.
so you had him and the cost was a lot.
Yeah.
You had to pay. So
And the production was low. So how can you be happy with the low production?
Because I don't think getting a better running back. Excuse me, burp. I don't think getting a better running back gives me a whole ton more points.
But at
If
that
you-
position,
I would
it's
say
not
position-
overall
it's
points.
position-
It's
it's
per
positional advantage.
position. We're not
Yeah.
talking about a flex here.
Right.
A flex, sure, you want a wide receiver in that flex almost always, or
Yeah.
a tight end premium league.
So
Why
what
don't
I'm,
you?
what I'm saying is you pick a guy off the waiver wire, call it a Keaton Mitchell, and he's going to get you maybe 10 points a game, which comes out to maybe 50 or 60 points on the season. That's fine. But if I spend 0 cost for my 2 starting running backs and they're producing 5 to 10 points every week, that means all of my assets go towards the not only players that have more longevity in a league, but also they're scoring more points right now in a 1-to-1. Like Christian McCaffrey is the exception that basically proves the rule, because he's going so nuclear and he's still not flex 1.
All right, here, let's look at GA real fast.
Yeah,
I don't
sorry.
think you're competing if you don't have.
Let's look at the playoff teams in GA right now.
I bet
didn't mean to
you're
go
gonna
on that
see.
big
I
of a
bet you're gonna
soapbox.
see a ton of top 10 running backs.
That was supposed
Mostert.
to be quick.
Aaron Jones.
Right, okay, but Mostert's a perfect example of what I'm trying to say. You got him on waivers this year. No one was trying to
Well,
trade
not in
for him.
Dynasty.
Not in
He's
Dynasty.
been rostered for years.
Okay, so then you trade a third for him.
Kenneth Walker, Swift.
Swift is one you could have got cheap.
Which one did
Not
you
this
want?
year.
To Kyle's
No,
point.
you can't get Swift cheap.
Well,
Not
on
anymore,
the,
but
on the
the-
lower
BT
end.
Kamara.
You paid heavy. You paid a big price. Adrian paid a good price.
People
You
were
got-
paying
he-
big price for Swift in the offseason.
You got
You
he
did.
got,
During
he
the
got Swift
season?
from me for a 25 first and 16.
Oh, I did during, but not. I see what you're saying.
Joe
You seen
Mixon.
season? Oh,
Jerome Ford. We're not talking about the cheap ones. Ezekiel Elliott, Jerome Ford, Raheem
Ezekiel-
Mostert. He's got.
Derrick
There
Henry.
are going to be some
Derrick
cheap
Henry.
ones, sure, but you want a guy.
This is what
Mostert
I'm talking about. You get the
after
cheap
this
running
year
backs. You
might
get
not be anything
production.
because of his age.
This is
Zeke
literally
Elliott
proving
is-
my point.
No.
I don't really think it is. You're seeing all the top running backs on these teams. You're seeing a couple of flyers. You're seeing the random guy that
No
happened
one's
to pop
spending a
off.
first for Raheem Mostert even now.
I think there was the ask with Lamar in the offer and JT in the offer. If he was asking you for Christian Kirk, you would have said,
every single one of these playoff teams has a top end wide or running back.
It's not that. He's not. I don't think he's not saying he's valueless. He's saying and correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle. You're not saying JT's valueless. You're saying in a trade for Lamar, he's a zero. He's not even. There's no value for you in that trade for sending Lamar away.
For JT, for me, it's not that he's a zero. Jahan Dotson's a zero in that trade. But for JT, I'm never trading a perceived top 5 quarterback for even Christian. It's not happening.
So semantics, you can semantics your way out of it, but we're saying the same thing. You see you giving away Lamar. You see.
Okay. Let's just forget about that trade. I'm just talking about the discussion. And
that's why I say
he was telling me that JT running backs aren't worth it in my leagues.
All right, of the top, let's just break it off at 10 for arbitrary reasons. Raheem Mostert was almost free. Rashad White was almost free. Derrick Henry is like kind of free because people are scared that he's getting older. Joe Mixon, same situation. Alvin Kamara was going for 2 seconds because he was suspended for 3 games. Kyron Williams was literally waiver wire. And then you have Bijan Brees.
Yeah, he was drafted. He was drafted.
The value to your team is insane because of the supply and demand.
But you can't say that because you would have to see the future if you're going to say I'm going to pick up a waiver guy and he's going to blow up on my team.
And you have to be the one who want to grab that guy off waivers.
The reason I have multiple shares of Raheem Mostert this year is because I don't think Achan's going to survive an entire season uninjured.
Thank you. Mostert's also 31, and this is the first season he's made it completely uninjured in like 5 years.
Right, which is insane. But also, whenever he's healthy, he's played really well.
But no running back survives the whole year. I mean, to say that is like saying, well, no shit.
Jerome Ford is the easiest handcuff in the entire league because Nick Chubb is a mega stud and is one of the few Cowboys.
You saying that you got Mostert because you didn't think Achan was gonna. Mostert was the RB1,
right?
That he was their running back. Achan wasn't even their. It's not even their running back. He's just their gadget. He's their.
If we had that progressive replay thing, we could go back and look at what people thought of Raheem Mostert before the season started.
And
we're talking about my league specifically.
Yeah,
my leagues.
It doesn't really matter to me. It's basically just translated a little bit higher.
Part of I think is getting a little confused. You're saying the price for these guys, you can get good running backs for cheap, so you shouldn't pay up for a good running back.
Correct.
I subscribe to that.
But the running backs you're listing off are running backs that have benefited from guys in front of them going down or flukes that nobody anticipated.
So
how are you supposed to take advantage of the information that you can get them for cheap if they're if you look at Jerome Ford or you look at Achan, you look at you said Joe Kyron, like how are you supposed to know when they're cheap that you can get them for that cheap and that they're going to be producing when instead you could go pay for a high-end guy? And
this is a nuance. I can't remember who was on previously that it must have been Ash that has like kind of a similar mindset in a way to me where like you're picking up players that are your guys, and whatever your process is, if you decide that you like them more or not, like Jerome Ford was on my taxi in multiple leagues before like I drafted him.
Like did you draft him and you were like, this guy is going to be a bona fide stud, he's going to be a league winner, he's
no.
You just pick him up? Or
but I drafted him and I went, he's the second best running back on the team with Nick Chubb there. Like he's gonna replace Kareem Hunt. He's gonna get that 30 to 40% share, and he's gonna be a running back 3 or running back 2. So then when Nick Chubb goes down, all of a sudden he's a running back 1.
And his value skyrockets.
Right, exactly. So, but what I'm saying is, you don't trade for them when they're already putting points up, and you don't trade for them on perceived value. You draft them, or you trade assets. So like a first and like fucking, I don't know. Let's call it
But that's like saying you draft Puka knowing he's going to be a stud and that you can get him for cheap.
No, you draft him with
How do you-
you think he could be a stud. Like his potential is stud. You don't draft him and expect him to just like be a stud and you're disappointed. If
You have to be in the position to
so
draft
hard.
these guys too.
That's like so hard to do because you might just not. You're not gonna.
Fantasy's not easy. We don't win.
Well, no. I'm saying, but like you're not. You might be all in on Jerome Ford, but you're not going to take him with your only pick at 110.
Yeah,
Oh,
or you're
no.
not going to take him at 2-2
Yeah, but
when your next pick is 312.
So okay, I don't know. You guys should all, well, maybe not Mitch, but the other three of you should know that I'm sending out like weird offers during the draft, like crazy.
Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Like I'm sending my pick to trade back 3 picks all the time, or trading up 4 picks all the time, even in the 3rd or 4th round.
You know the percentage of how good of a percentage you would have to hit in order for that to pan out. Otherwise, it takes a long time.
Me, the amount of times that I hit versus the opportunity cost is always worth it.
Here's a guy that I was told by multiple people
Chris Collins
was the 3rd best running back in this draft. Was it Chris Evans? Yes. Like that's a guy that a lot of people were like, this is a sneaky guy you could get. He could be a stud. Like you're gonna draft Chris.
Same with Chase Brown
in the mid-second round because you're like his potential is stud.
I tried getting Chase
you still draft him in the 4th round, but that's what I'm saying. They're borderline free with the non-zero chance that they're a stud.
But what if you look at all of the guys that are borderline free that never pan out to anything?
Yeah, that's why you churn the end of your roster, and you rotate your taxi every year. Like
you still have to have a running back to compete. Otherwise, there's
so much dart throwing
sitting in the mid.
If you're telling me draft a guy in the 4th round and then turn him out the next year, then that negates what you're saying as picking him up in the 4th round because you're just guessing.
I'd say
you're changing your mind about guys.
So we treated.
What do you say, Jay?
I'd say I mean, we can do this all day. I don't care.
Yeah,
let's do it.
But
we could do a whole fucking episode on this.
I'd say most of us agree with what both of you are saying. But Kyle, 90% of your Jerome Fords are going to be losers. You know it. So, but you're saying I'll take the shot in the 3rd round.
There were 3rds and 4ths.
But just one sec. What Pickle's saying is this: I am willing to invest in a guy that just got a big fat contract because I know the certainty in my roster spot is there as long as he's playing that Sunday. If he's playing that Sunday, I don't have to guess he's going to be a running back 1, high-end running back 2. There's power in that. That asset is worth investing in. You don't have to value him like everyone else. There is replacement value. I do get it. But for you to start Jerome Ford, I'm never going to start Jerome Ford over JT. So that means there's some value to JT over a Jerome Ford.
You literally did for almost all of this year.
Because he was hurt.
That's
what I'm saying. There's so many variables that make
you can say that about any fucking position. Joe Burrow's been hurt all fucking year.
It's like saying draft backup QBs.
I'll admit that.
Draft back. You should have drafted backup QBs in the 4th round because there's no certainty. Like,
well, hold on one second. What are you going to say, Adrian?
I'm going to do the always drafts.
Ford did absolutely nothing before Chubb went down. Chubb almost had 100%. So you can't say, well, I'm taking Ford because he's going to be my starter because Chubb's going to go down. If Chubb didn't go down, he's going to be sitting on your bench for the whole year. And then what do you have? You have nothing to start.
You're going to turn him out for the next year's 4th round pick because at the end of the day, you get to the 4th round, nobody knows what's there.
What I'm trying to look at, I'm basically describing zero RB here. Is you're picking up just whatever's left on either the draft or
that doesn't win you championships.
But that zero RB
literally does.
Zero
literally does.
Zero RB is a redraft strategy, not a dynasty strategy.
Right.
And Kyle, we've seen your win-loss record, right? We've seen you play for years. So
you don't have to
what you're subscribing to, if you keep subscribing to this, well, maybe that's why you're not making the playoffs.
Yeah,
or
maybe
a title. Now, most of us we go through years and we're not making the playoffs. We're not winning titles. So you're in good company. But remember, when I said if they're both playing on Sunday, you're not saying I'm starting JT over Ford. So then you had some rebuttal that says, well, what if? And then Adrian said he wasn't playing, and you said, exactly. But I said, if they're both playing. Give me the guy. I will invest in a guy. I'd rather give a first for JT than a second for Ford because no one's selling him for anything less than a second. So that means I have to invest in Ford if I want to roster him or the like, right?
So I got a prime
I'll
example.
take it. I've never won a league, so
I got a prime example. So in JB, when we first did the rankings, power rankings, I think my team was close to the bottom. But so what I did is I bought Henry and I bought Jacobs, those 2 running backs, and then I was competing, and I was 1 game off of making the playoffs
with a great team.
Yeah, but it's because I got Henry and Jacobs. I wouldn't have been able to do anything. I would probably be last in the division. I'd still probably be beating you, but no.
And Kyle,
if I didn't
hold
do
on. For
To an
people that
extent,
already
we-
JB, hold on. The reason I'm sucking so much dick in JB is because I specifically decided not to compete this year.
we know, and that's why he laughed.
Everybody
But-
look at his taxi real quick. He's probably got a bunch of stuff.
No. It's off limits.
Pull it up.
Wait,
Pull it up.
you
Actually,
agree.
it's pretty funny. I have Zach Evans, Tajay Spears, fucking Elijah Higgins, and some other players that are pretty good.
Tajay Spears is a great example of your point. You could have got this guy middle of the second round and been like, this guy could be good. Henry's old. Henry could be injured.
Yeah, you got him in the second.
And he looks like the successor to Derrick Henry. But that's just not like that just doesn't happen as frequently as you might. I don't know. I don't think that happens very frequently at all.
But what I'm okay, here's the other side of that. I had Tajay Spears as my running back 3, and I had him as a mid-round value. So me getting him in the second is good value from my perspective, and I understand that that's kind of crazy.
No, he was going in second in a lot
No,
of leagues.
I mean a rookie draft. Yeah,
I'm never drafting him in the first round, but because I can get him in the second round, I'm taking him almost every time he's there.
If he's there for you.
Well, guys, in
Right,
the second round, I mean, it's all fucking dart throws in the second,
There's
late
only-
where you got him anyway.
There's only so much I'm going to overpay to move up 2 spaces to get a player that I like a lot. You know,
It didn't take a brain surgeon to draft Tajay Spears in the second.
No,
Yeah.
it didn't.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
that
a
was
good point. That's a good point.
that
That
was
was
an
not a
easy pick.
sneaky pick.
all right.
Um,
Let's go.
GA. And Kyle, we
I
all
keep
to
talking
an
about
extent agree with you, but I
Let me
do
just
think
pull
there
up
is
my entire
value.
fucking roster here. Oh yeah, wow, this guy sucks at fantasy.
Hey, I'm not bashing anyone for not making it the playoffs or title. I didn't
Should've
make the
drafted
playoffs
Evan
and
Hull.
yeah. I didn't.
Kyle, love
lost
you, buddy. You suck
this
at fantasy.
weekend. I'm just
Classic
saying.
Jay.
Kyle, if you would have drafted Puka and Kyron and Achan, you probably would have been in the playoffs.
Okay,
You would've got those guys
so
for a lot
actually-
cheaper.
I actually was really high on Puka. I just had other targets in that range. I thought Kyron was never going to be a thing. I'll be honest. I missed on him.
He's an accident.
Achan is electric, but his profile just his archetype doesn't.
His
doesn't lead
archetype,
him.
yes.
Yeah, bingo cards.
You got
Why doesn't he love his
got it.
archetype though?
He's
Why
not a
wouldn't
small
he
back.
love Achan's archetype?
He's still tiny.
He's a scat back who is just not going to be healthy for a full season.
Jake,
So-
scat,
When he
scat's
is
another
healthy,
word
he's
for
putting up
poo.
40 points, but he's not healthy all year. And that
It's
might
not
be,
like he's a Devonta Smith running out there.
I mean, Devonta Smith is a 2, but he's a 1B at best.
No, I'm just saying he's not his size. I mean, he really looks like Hill running out there. He's
Achan?
not a small back, yeah. I mean, he's not a skinny back. When I was
He's
watching the
188.
game,
That's pretty
No,
skinny
he's
for.
a thicker dude. He was thicker than I thought he
Yeah.
was going to be when I
He's-
saw him.
when I was watching him on Monday night, when he went out for that one pass, he looked a lot like Tyreek Hill's
If he was a
size.
wide receiver,
He's
I wouldn't be concerned about his health. But he's spending at least part of his time in
Did
the
you
middle
watch
of
the
the field. No, not this week. I didn't watch any football.
He was running routes. That's
Yeah.
how they'll use him. They also will run him between the tackles for whatever
He
reason.
was running between the tackles, and he did
He was.
score.
If they
He was.
used him exclusively as an outside receiver,
This is their first year, though, too. I mean, let's give them a little bit of time with their toy. I'm
I don't
good.
disagree that he's valuable. I just that's the
Hang on a second.
caveat.
The other thing is like I don't know. I can't get over how many of these guys, no matter how much you scout, like you're gonna draft in the third, fourth round. They're never gonna be anything.
If
no.
my hit rate is above 15% in the third round, I'm ecstatic.
Of course
Who
they are.
cares?
15%? That's like fucking
Who
gold.
cares? It's
That's
so
what I'm
who
saying.
cares that it doesn't even matter. It's
No,
so
but
irrelevant.
no one's hitting the 15% hit rate in the third round unless you have
Okay,
5 or 6 third round picks year in and year out.
1 out of every 7 third round picks you're expecting to hit.
in
insanity.
these leagues, there is every single year there's at least one guy in the third round that I have as a second round pick that I'm getting every year, and they don't always hit. Like Zamir White obviously did not hit,
Okay,
but I had him as a mid-late second round pick.
But if you do that all the time, you're not competing. You got to have studs.
If I do, I'm doing that all the time because third round picks don't cost that much. You can
Yeah,
get
And exactly
I
what
I
Shane
get
said.
10 years.
I get what you're saying. The risk for you is nothing, and you can maybe hit on a guy, and it's going to cost you nothing at the end of the day.
exactly. It cost me a taxi spot.
But guys like
It's going to take you 10 years.
Like JT,
like it's a different strategy. You're not going out and drafting a for sure thing. You're going and trading for a for sure thing. If you're
Yeah, it's totally
drafting
different strategy.
complete misses and it costs you nothing, well, nobody cares.
Would you be surprised if JT was RB1 next year?
No. Well, yes.
No,
I wouldn't be
Uh,
I don't
surprised.
think.
Over
I
Christian
don't think
McCaffrey.
no. I think
he's done it before.
Why
Anthony
would
Richardson-
anyone be surprised? Good
I mean,
offense.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Anthony
Well,
Richardson and
yeah,
Jonathan
that's
Taylor
true.
might be the most electric duo in the entire league next year.
Oh,
Might be.
okay. Start GA. Oh my God, here they come.
Oh,
You're
we're
getting
15
attacked.
minutes in. We haven't even started.
Hi.
Did we start it?
Yeah, we could do it. Run back tomorrow.
Come back for part 2. Why are we on?
I don't know what we're supposed to
We
be
don't.
talking about in the league.
So we
Just
got.
told you,
GA?
I'll start it off. So the brackets. So we had Justin playing Bill, and Bill won pretty handily. So he goes up against Nick Rizzo.
Nick.
I always get these Tampa Bay teams missed.
Rizzo's never been Tampa Bay.
Okay. Then we got Braxton. Barely took down JW. That was a good game, I think. So Braxton's going to be playing Jason K.
Do you realize how quiet it is when Jay is muted?
Yeah.
It's like awkward.
AFC, we had
No,
James.
Mike, you're not number 1 seed. It was reseeded.
James Martin beat Tony. That was a close game too, and I think James was down quite a bit coming into this game.
He had Mostert and
I think
Henry going.
Yeah, Mostert
Sorry,
and Henry.
it's your league.
That
My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. And who's the Jags?
That's
in AFC?
Mike.
Mike. So Mike's going up against James, and then we got. Is this
Ryan.
That's Ryan? Okay. I always want to say what's his name?
Carmen.
Carmen.
Because it's
Yeah.
isn't it?
Seems like he has the Dolphins in almost every other league, doesn't he?
I think he has them in 32.
Yeah, 32 and NFL.
Okay. And then we got Zach going up against Ryan. How do you feel? How do you feel about that one?
I'm always nervous about all
Yeah.
about all of my games. So.
I don't know that. I mean, when was the last time you had a matchup where you were like, "I've got it in the bag"? In the playoffs?
32 last week.
So the best thing though is
Everyone
Ryan
thought I had it in the bag. Like,
We'll get to that one in a minute.
Yeah.
fucking disaster.
the best thing is that Ryan took out Joe, so we don't have to hear Joe anymore.
Hey, we're not repeating this next week. I sure hope not.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I like the matchups. I like all the matchups, and it's gonna be interesting to see who wins, especially Jason K and Braxton. That's gonna be a good matchup.
Calling for a whole lot of pizza.
All right, GA's done. On to the next league.
Which league was it? Oh, if
Trade.
JB. If Jason wins in JB, we all get pizza.
Trades.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Okay.
Lots of trades.
Wow.
It's mostly garbage.
Oh my
So
god.
we had we talked about some of these, didn't we? Yeah, because we went Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
So go 6 days. So Braxton was busy. Braxton was busy in the trade market because he was going up against JW. But at the bottom we had who's Tennessee? I don't know these names.
Tennessee is
Brian.
So he gave up Khalil Herbert and Devonta Smith for Pacheco and JSN.
That's
So
interesting.
obviously,
I feel
yeah,
like
Well, he only did this because
He's-
Pacheco was hurt. I could have had Pacheco if I had Cap.
right. So Joe was trying to compete. Didn't quite get there, but hey, that's why you make trades, right?
I feel like getting Devontae Smith is still really good.
It is. It's really taking the shot on who we hope JSN will be.
Yeah. It wasn't a bad trade. It was just
Plus, you're going to want Pacheco over Herbert, right? Big time.
Oh,
Herbert's
easily.
hero.
Pacheco's value is so good.
Pretty
And then-
nice.
Braxton went busy. He gave up Jonathan Taylor for Kamara and a 24 first, late first.
That was really great.
So it was good. It definitely helped Braxton out
It
this
did.
week. Then he turned and gave up Keaton Mitchell, Dalton Schultz, and the 21 first that he just got for the Taylor deal. And he got Keenan Allen and a 24 third.
See, that's where I'm saying, like, spending my first, right? How necessary is it right now? I'd say that was good, but then dang, now Keenan Allen's value just.
I mean, that can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
I agree.
You can't
like the
trade
move.
scared. You can't trade scared. If you trade scared, you're not going to make moves. So what do
Before the
It's not-
games,
it's
this
not
is a
the-
great trade.
It's not the this trade or no trade ever, right? It's this trade, or is there anything else? Now he waited till the 11th hour to get Keenan Allen this trade.
But maybe
So,
you don't.
maybe-
You might have been doing something all
Awesome.
week.
Maybe I'm sure. Oh, he was working I know Braxton. He was working tirelessly to win this week. But it sucks to spend the capital. I'm hoping this was like the last ditch effort for any kind of producer, because now he just purchased a dead asset. Keenan Allen's value is going to be very, very low. Still could be valuable to his roster next year, but that's the type of thing where I get scared dealing
Yeah,
with.
it's players like this that if you have them and you can sell them to a playoff team, you should.
For sure. I agree. But plus that first round pick's probably not super valuable anyway, because it's Tampa Bay's first and he was the 1 seed. So in theory, should be a pretty late pick.
Yeah.
Either way, well done to Braxton, besting me.
Yeah. You're trading for the playoffs for sure.
Yeah.
So I want to hear about this next one. Gave up AJ Brown for Jamar Chase. You usually don't do a receiver for a receiver.
You're trading a slightly higher perceived asset for a higher win now asset.
And yeah, Jamar Chase is dealing with ankle injury, so
And he has Jake Browning. That's the bigger issue.
he's actually been
Browning hadn't
eating
looked
with
too
Jake
bad.
Browning.
Yeah. And he's been targeting.
I'm
Chase.
just saying, I think Joe Burrow is better as a quarterback for Jamar Chase than Jake Browning.
Browning's better
So
because you could get him.
that was a win now for
Brian's better because he's off the waivers. You don't have to spend to get him.
Right.
More like a quarterback one, so prove my point. Quarterbacks suck, man.
I knew someone was going to come after some assets. I have such a good fucking team, man.
Great asset.
And no surprise that it was Braxton that came shopping first. That was an asset. That was a trade I had to hit. Right. There's no way I was.
I think so. That trade makes
That one.
so much sense
just
for
did
both
that
people.
one, didn't you?
Say it again.
You just did that trade.
couple
I
hours
just
ago.
did it a minute ago. Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's crazy. I
So-
actually have them in the same tier now.
So that was a move that Braxton did for the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's higher on
After
AJ Brown.
knocking Jason out to get
Yeah.
the ability to get AJ Brown.
I would say they're definitely in a different tier for me. There's no reason I should really value them much higher except for resale value. Jamar Chase has much higher resale value to
Yeah.
everyone. AJ Brown is an acquired taste. He's obviously very good. Talent-wise, same tier, right? Ish. But resale value, every single human being wants Jamar Chase.
Right.
Yeah.
Not everyone wants to roster AJ Brown. You know, there's some skeptics out there. I'm one of them, right? I still want him. I traded for him, but I would say same tier, sure, but not same tier in value for everyone.
Hey, who has AJ Brown in an NFL league?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait for him.
that's Jason. Never mind. He's not
Fucking Jason.
he's not giving me AJ Brown.
No, he
Jason
went
K.
a lot. So then the last trade
Yeah,
was
he's a Philly
it
fan.
James? James is Cincinnati.
Collusion.
This trade is so weird.
Fucking
gave up-
bullshit.
Weird trade.
He gave up Kirk Cousins and Alexander Madison for Elliott and Evan Ingram.
I tried to
Oh.
trade Jake Kirk Cousins in another league, and he said, "I want no part of that.
Kyle.
He's washed and he's injured. No way would I trade for Kirk Cousins." And then he goes and does this.
Do you think there was a Venmo involved?
No, there's a
That's-
sandwich though for sure. DoorDash.
A sandwich, though, for sure.
Because
I think that
James,
was good.
James wants so badly to beat me.
Yeah, he does.
I wanted
does.
you guys to know that Ezekiel Elliott and Evan Ingram scored like 60 points this week.
No, they definitely went off. Ingram's a good. I mean, like
Yeah,
that's what we're saying. It's like it just
Ingram ain't
doesn't
gonna
make-
score that again next week.
Probably not. But
No.
Either way, it looks
Christian
like
Kirk's not coming back, and I don't
But
think
he-
Calvin Ridley's his favorite target.
he did almost score that same amount the week prior, though, 24 and 34.
Yeah, Evan Ingram might be the wide receiver one on that team for the rest of the season.
He was targeted often. And it wasn't even like a salary dump, right? Now,
Yeah.
Evan Ingram was $31. That's
It's
expensive.
because Beathard came in and he was doing the dump off in the
hucking
game
it.
before. Because I was watching that
Yeah.
game pretty closely because I was going up against Renee, who had
And that was
Ingram.
against the Browns. The
With
Browns
12
didn't have-
targets.
tight
He
end.
didn't have much until Beathard came in, and then he just got peppered left and right.
12 targets from Lawrence, though.
Even
11
yeah.
catches. That was solid.
And I think a lot of it was because of his ankle.
I don't know if you guys watched
Well.
the game because I did, but I don't think.
No way.
well, we know Jaden.
I almost said you. Trevor Lawrence is not happy with Calvin Ridley right now. There's things that he's not. They're not on the same page on every play, and I think it pisses him off.
Well, it also helps that Ingram just catches most all the balls.
Everything. in
Steelers, he went 10 for 10. He went
Yeah, I think
Nine
he's
out
got
of 7.
6-foot arms.
7 out of 7, 7 out of 8, 7 for 8, 6
Do
for 8.
you guys know any idiots that would start Gabe Davis over Evan Ingram in the flex?
What a
Yes.
fucking idiot! Oh
Way to be
my
late.
god!
That's the Zach we need. Not
So
such
do
an
you-
emotional
I hate
girl.
Gabe Davis.
Do you think
Same, bro.
Kirk going down definitely helped Ingram?
Of course. Yeah.
I think so, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But Ingram's, I mean, for the rest of the
The
season,
same thing for Zeke. This is a very
he's good.
contextual trade.
Just so we're clear, everybody agrees. Like James is winning this trade so hard right now, for now and forever.
but
Yeah,
what
I
about
mean,
next year? I mean,
No,
next
it's a
year,
one
Zeke
quarterback
is-
league. Kirk
Zeke
Cousins
is-
is not going to be healthy, man.
You can draft a guy like Kirk in like the 5th round once every 7 years.
So he's not going. So he's not going to be healthy all year. You're saying he's not going to be. He's not going to be quarterbacking next year, Kyle.
I don't know, man. He's the fucking Achilles. You think he's going to be back week 100%?
He's fine.
Rogers is going to be back in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, you think that. He
See-
wants to be back. I don't know if his ashwagandha is going to be enough.
Hey, pull up
Next year-
NFL, Zach.
Next year,
Okay.
Elliott isn't going to be worth anything.
Hang on
That's
a second.
true.
You're right. So
To-
really, would you trade Cousins for Ingram because
Yeah.
Zeke's meaningless to him?
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
No.
There you go.
if
Or so
I'm
you take Ingram.
if I'm James, I'm trading away Kirk for Ingram. You're trying to win right now.
Only
Yeah,
for
of course
right now, yes.
Oh, of
Next
course you
year,
mean.
it doesn't.
I'm
course
saying for Jake because we're scrutinizing Jake, right? Because James obviously we're into it, but Jake is looking at it like, hey, like who else does Jake have
click on
at tight end? No
before you
one.
switch.
Oh, sorry.
So Jake also has.
looks like no one.
No tight end.
Field.
Yeah, that was
Fucking
rough.
dick.
He traded for Kirk Cousins, and he has Anthony Richardson on his taxi,
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
doing, Jake?
and he has Justin Fields.
Oh my
I mean,
god.
you
Venmo.
Can't start more than one quarterback.
I'm
to
gonna.
be
Drive me
fair,
nuts.
Could have more than
to
one
be
though.
fair, he could be looking at this as like, I got another asset I can flip later.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Kyle, you have to look at this differently. It's not a 12 team 1 QB league.
It's not a
It is
start
a
for a quarterback.
It is a 16 team league with super flex value.
Yeah.
That's for me. I have
Look how many
super
quarterbacks
flex
went down.
value when there's a quarter point per reception. Whoo, that's not nothing. That's big time.
You
You're
get
getting-
outside the top 15 quarterbacks. You do not want any of those guys as your starting quarterback every week. You don't want them at all. You have
You want
to.
a backup, don't
want-
you, Kyle? Don't
you
you
want a
want a
backup.
backup quarterback in a
backup.
1 league, 1 QB league?
But you want, if you're going to be
No,
contending,
here-
you need a
here-
top 10 QB. You got to go pay for him.
So here to kind of agree with Kyle a little bit here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You don't want two top
Step.
10 quarterbacks.
Right.
My ego
Correct.
is just
You
going.
want a Joe Burrow and a Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
So you're not shitting the bed when Joe Burrow goes down.
But that's
You
two
know-
top 15 quarterbacks in
You
a
know what my
16 team
wet
league.
dream is?
Yeah, that's what you want. You want-
GA?
I know. I'm saying, like, if you want two, like in a super flex league, you want two top 15 quarterbacks on your team.
My wet dream in GA is to have someone like Lamar Jackson and then have like Gardner Minshew, fucking Josh Dobbs, call it
that's cool.
anyone besides Jimmy Garoppolo, really.
I like
and
that.
Wilson.
That's my dream.
I'm saying,
Also,
Zach, to your
I love
point, I
that
think
sport.
what you're
Alright,
saying
leagues.
is saying, like, yes, the QBs are valuable. In a super flex league, if you had Joe Burrow and Baker Mayfield, you would be like, yes, I have a decent QB starting
show me
every
the-
week.
Show me
Single
the
argue
class
that's
in
one
the
of
I
NFL.
want that as well.
That should be one of the better starts in the league because I think Baker's almost a QB1 right now.
He's QB 15 on the season.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
NFL.
Yeah, fuck Dobbs. I mean,
And
Dobbs was good for a few weeks, not the
That's
whole
why you don't want Dobbs though.
But
He was actually good for almost the entire season.
I'll take
Except-
Minshew though.
Except last week.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you pick him up off waivers, you don't trade a first for Josh Dobbs.
You're not going to pick him off waivers.
Someone
no,
did.
no, Josh Dobbs, you get off waivers.
Literally, someone got Josh Dobbs off waivers in every league.
You can go get PJ Walker right now.
Yeah,
In,
he's kind
A
of
NFL.
lot, there are a lot of these quarterbacks that got off waivers.
Joe Flacco.
Yes, but
is,
you can't.
is a quarterback one in week 14.
NFL.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
And
Oh, that top
Yeah.
trade is spicy.
which one?
The top
They're
one.
both crazy. What
These
the
are both
fuck?
nutty. All
How do
right.
they get in this league?
Why am I not in this league?
Yeah, that was a hot
I
trade
want to
right
be
there.
the Giants or
These
the
are awesome. Big dick trades. Anyways, what are they?
Zach, that's all you.
So we have my mind is all mush right now. Mike
Want me to take
giving
it?
up Debo and Laporta and a third
Wow.
to Casey for Garrett Wilson, Mark Andrews, and a second.
Hot.
Yeah, this is definitely like I need to win now trade.
And then
We talked about this one.
This is awesome.
because it was Wednesday. I went back six days and it's still
You're right. We
Uh,
talked about it.
My quick take because I wasn't here last
Oh,
week.
Wait,
so I didn't want to be
did
here.
we?
is
Because that
Yeah.
would have.
it's a
that
very
wouldn't have
sad-
That's the one we did online. Yeah, that's the one we did live.
Oh.
processed
Oh.
live.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one that processed live. We did it way
Right.
late.
What did we say last week about it? Anybody remember?
We loved it. And we liked the side that got dealt away to the. We liked it for both sides,
I like
right?
it for both sides also, yeah.
Yeah.
And he started Debo, and I bet he won.
Yeah, whoever got Debo and Laporta there is feeling really good about everything.
So then we have Braxton giving up Kyle Pitts to Earl for Trey McBride because Earl desperately needed a tight end this week. Unfortunately, as we're going to see here, it did not work out for him.
Hang on. Is this a testament to Trey McBride's value skyrocketing or Kyle Pitt's value plummeting?
Both.
McBride was on a bye.
McBride was on a bye. That's why this trade happened.
Oh.
Wow.
That's sorry, Earl. Dang.
Earl was playing this week.
Yeah,
if Trey McBride was on a bye.
If you needed a tight end to score points this week, it was not Kyle Pitts.
He scored
points.
He literally scored.
How many points?
And we had a touchdown.
I mean, he did pretty well for tight end PPR, non-tight end premium.
I think he did good.
13. He was 3 for 57.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, Hawkinson at 7.
That's good in this league.
Yeah.
It is.
Really good is 2022.
Oh, Herbert getting 4 points really screwed up. I mean, he lost by like 50.
Well, but Dobbs only got him 6 points.
No. I'm reading it wrong.
Nico Collins is what really killed him.
Keenan Allen, Jordan Addison.
Did he start Gabe Davis?
Fuck you.
No. Did you start Gabe Davis?
Yeah.
Well, this is Gabe.
Not
Zach.
you. I'm talking to Zach.
In 32, I did.
Oh, yeah. I don't watch football, so how did Gabe Davis do? Did he score a touchdown?
0.
Oh, that's too bad.
An absolute goose egg.
This week, he's going to put up fucking like 25 points.
Yeah, I doubt
Gabe
it.
Davis
I think
is doing
Leo
to
should
everybody.
here to stay.
Are you going to start him
every
this
night?
week? Do you have him in a league, Zach, that's playing?
Ooh, that's.
I
think that's
think
a no.
I do. I think I have him in
SF2?
GA. Not in SF2. It's GA, I think.
You had him in JB and 32.
I didn't start him in JB, though.
Oh.
It was between Davis and Ingram as my flex in 32.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about Trevor being hurt, and then Gabe Davis seems to always do well against the Chiefs at Arrowhead. So I went with my heart and said Gabe Davis is going to crush us, and then he didn't.
Yeah. All right. Start with the NFC. NFC. What do we got?
We have a shitty game here.
Yeah.
Roy only putting up 65 points and Brandon winning with 85. Now, this league, to be fair, this league is a lower scoring league because it is only half PPR.
I love the 16-team leagues from a third-hand perspective because they just all look like a fucking shit show. Well, this is the toilet bowl for sure. You can't tell me otherwise.
I love 16-team leagues personally.
I love Superflex. That's my thing.
So Roy could not pull off the upset, losing by 20 points to Brandon. And then we went chalk in this one. Tom losing by almost 35 points to Casey. Casey's the one that made. Let's look at that trade real fast. Let's look at those results.
This was the Laporta Debo trade. Yeah,
so Laporta did shit, but Debo
made up for it.
Debo was the difference essentially in this game.
Oh, really?
It was 35 points. Basically, Debo.
Damn, he's got Chase, Lamb, and Debo.
But Garrett Wilson also did pretty decent too, right, this week?
Joe Flacco scored 30.
Oh, Garrett. Oh, no, he's not. He doesn't have Garrett Wilson, though.
No, that's who he traded away.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson.
The Saints did.
He would have won without the trade.
Joe Flacco was on waivers a couple weeks ago.
There's the Saints.
15 points.
15, so half the points, yeah.
So,
Tommy
he's still
Tremble was
won.
a starter.
He still would have won.
Yeah, he still would have won.
And it really didn't matter what Tom did.
You're still
His best
excited
lineup
going
still
into.
loses.
You're still excited going forward for the rest of the playoffs.
Oh, he's stacked.
Yes, he is. You know who else is stacked? This guy right here.
Yes, sir.
Who is it?
Jason
Another?
W.
Oh,
It wasn't really an upset because no one had the 4th seed winning this, or the
Wow,
3rd seed
that is
winning
a
this game.
really good team.
I didn't want to see this team in the playoffs. I'm glad Hill's hurt. Hopefully he doesn't play this week.
Well, then he'll just put
I will
Devontae Smith.
trade his ass so fast.
I know you will.
Literally, he has like almost wide receiver 1 backups. Like
Yeah, Devontae
what?
Smith. He could just plug Devontae Smith and be like, "Oh, Hill's not 100%. I'll throw Smith out there."
Yeah.
I'd rather have Devontae Smith in the lineup than
Yeah.
a healthy Hill.
He's even
We still got
fucking
Chase
Jerick
and
McKinnon,
Lamb.
man.
I know. This
Eh,
because I play him next week. This scares the shit out of me.
Okay,
You're toasted.
this is the quarterback room I'm talking about. You have one quarterback one, and you just have trash that shows up every now and then.
Dude, look
Love
how
it.
many. Look how
Love
many.
it.
Dude, DeVito, man,
Wow,
QB1.
that is an insane. How do you get that?
Because I lost Burrow and I was just
No.
piecing together all year.
No. This team.
He had Jefferson. Well, no. Yeah,
How
he
do you
did.
get- how
Jefferson.
do you get Lamb, Hill, and Chase on the same roster?
I rebuilt for 2 years though.
This
Okay.
is you. This is you.
So
Really?
last year,
Really pickle
Jason
your
in the
draft
playoffs traded Chase for Waddle because Chase was hurt last year in the playoffs. So he gave Chase away for Waddle. This year, he fucking trades Waddle back right before the playoffs for Chase.
Mm-hmm. It worked out, but
Yeah, that's a great team.
Yeah,
thanks.
it's scary as
Even
shit.
though it has HN.
Look, I might not like a guy. It doesn't mean anybody that has this team is terrible.
Yeah.
You have basically 3 of the 4 tier 1 wide receivers in the NFL right now.
Look at that. Evan Ingram, 27 points. I would have won if you didn't have Ingram. Didn't you trade for Ingram or no?
That was in the Chase deal. I traded away Hawkinson.
Oh.
Hawkinson still would have
He didn't do
probably.
nothing. He didn't do nothing this week.
Did he not?
No.
Hawkinson had 7.8 points in this league.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Damn, I could have won.
Well, if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd go
I
to the
know.
next league.
What are you, a teacher?
I'm not actually. I'm not a teacher.
We had Carmen. Carmen took care
I want to
of
be a
Earl.
GoPro mom.
Yeah,
Sorry, Earl.
Earl. So our matchups going into this week, we've got the undefeated Wes's Giants versus
Crazy.
Brandon. We got Ash going against who was it? Casey.
Yeah.
Then unfortunately get Jason in the divisional round instead of the AFC title game. And then Todd gets Carmen.
Damn, Wes has Ayuk, AJ Brown, Tyreek, and Puka still on taxi.
Yeah.
He's gonna start Purdy, CMC,
Yes.
Mostert, Kenneth Walker, Ayuk, Brown.
Woo!
I'm here for it. Wow.
Wow.
He still has Puka on taxi.
Yeah, dude. He never even needed him. That's crazy.
17-0. That's impressive.
17-0.
Wes.
I've never seen that in the NDL.
Mm-mm.
Even
All right.
Joe Burrow. The
All right,
manager
which
got
league?
Joe Burrow.
Let's just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yep. Zach
Okay.
lost. All right, that's it. Next league.
Onward, next league.
Zach, you want to take it or you want us to do it?
It's my league.
Let's look at the trades here.
Nothing super interesting.
This right here.
All right. Renee got Michael Keaton and Dontavian Wicks, and Tim got David and
Oh my God.
Michael Keaton, bro.
I'm
I
not
didn't
really sure.
know that.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Renee traded with three
Okay.
with 3
Here we go.
playoff teams this week.
Everybody buckle up.
Oh my God. I did not
His trade
know.
won the game, and her trade with Ryan won his game. Her
Oh.
trade with me didn't do jack shit.
Tim, way to go
Oh
get a tight end.
Ugh.
See a need, fill a need. That's what I always say. Shout out
So
to anybody that's ever seen robots.
Hey, Zach. Hey, I didn't
What?
realize that is.
Njoku, so just to
No, oh my
lay it on
god.
even thicker.
Oh my God.
And
that is-
Njoku had his second highest scoring game in his entire 7-year career this past weekend.
Yeah, but like 4 of those years were zeros.
He had but I went back and looked at every fucking year. Yes, there were a couple seasons he was completely injured.
Oh my
He's
God.
had 5 games in this league, 5 games total above 22 points, 22 or above,
What did he score this week?
30.
A billion, dude.
So he's had 3 games over 30.
30. 30.
2 games over 30, 2 games that were 22, 1 game that was 28 in his 7-year career. Everything else was 19 or lower. On average, he's like 10, 11.
Zach, be honest with me here. Would you have looked all this shit up if it wasn't you that lost to the
No.
Joker this week?
No, because this
not at
shit happens to me all the fucking time.
No,
This happens to all of us. What's his name? Who's it's Braxton. If he didn't do all his last minute trades Sunday,
No, I'm not talking about the trades. I'm talking about guys that have like career games against me in the playoffs.
You mean
That's
like
what
Ingram?
I'm talking about.
Here's
Like
the
Ingram
other
just
thing.
did.
Yeah, you mean like did it happen exactly to Adrian?
Here's the other thing that I think
Ugh.
maybe you could be overlooking is how many times have your guys put up monster numbers?
Right.
Like, you don't even think about it.
True.
You're just like, oh, great, my guy
Never.
popped off. Good deal. Next week,
it's
boom.
never
I'm
happened
like,
to me because I always flame out in the first round of playoffs.
Have you ever made the playoffs?
Yes, I made the playoffs like 4 years in a row in JV.
Kind of curious how many.
That's not true.
You had a good team
No,
with
'cause
JP.
there were a couple that I got kicked out by Adrian in week 14.
Bring up 32 again. We got to finish the league. That'll be
Yep.
real quick.
Or
So there's a
okay.
trade.
Oh,
That trade benefited Tim, obviously.
Zach, that hurt.
The
I
other
didn't
trade,
know that. I didn't know that. trade
I
was-
mean, so yes, that hurt. But what really hurt is knowing that
you
if
could have
I
won.
just am not stupid and put Ingram in instead of Davis, I win. It didn't matter. I would have won.
Really,
You don't put Ingram in over Kelsey.
Yeah,
No. My
You
flex.
you flex
it is tight.
My
end
flex
premium,
was
though, Adrian.
Davis or Ingram. That was my only 2 choices.
I didn't
I
think
would-
it would be
I
tight end
Is
premium.
this TDP?
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
tight end premium. Yeah.
Is
Oh, it is. It is. It is.
Oh my, Zach,
It
you
is.
fucked up.
Yeah, no,
I
I
would say-
completely fucked up.
I would say more than anything, you
I
should
don't
be
think.
feeling
I don't
bad
think
about
that was
that.
egregious.
I think it is. Davis.
Hey, listen. You roster Gabe Davis for these moments. You need that boom.
That Gabe Davis makes sense if Christian Kirk's
boom-
healthy. If Christian Kirk is not healthy,
Hang
it is
on.
100%
Hang on.
always Ingram.
Gabe.
That
Oh,
makes
oh,
no
oh.
sense.
This is right here. This is why you don't start Gabe Davis.
Oh,
Because he's
he
put up
had a
literal-
zero?
He's put up literal goose eggs playing entire
Look at
games.
this. Started
multiple
him,
times.
goose egg. I didn't start him this week.
You learn.
I think this week was because of the
You
bye.
learned he didn't learn shit.
Hey, but did you know Tyreek Hill was the same way when he was on KC for 1 year? He'd have one big game.
But this is
And
Gabe
then
Davis for the last 3 years. Literal
But
goose
if
egg.
you go look at some of his
Zero.
biggest games, it's been at Arrowhead versus the Chiefs, which is part of why I was I started him, even though my head said I should start Ingram.
This is possibly the best Kansas City Chiefs defense we've seen in the last 6 years.
Oh,
Oh,
for
100%.
decades.
So it's a different situation. And also, Khalil Shakir is the wide receiver too. Let's
No,
go,
he isn't.
baby.
So
What did he do? What did he
I
do
don't
this
know,
year?
probably nothing. I didn't watch
Nothing.
the
I mean,
I just
I shot myself in the foot. I could have won this game. I did.
Kincaid is their number 2 receiver. That's
Yeah.
who's their number
Yeah,
2.
I specifically said wide receiver because Kincaid is
you're
the
right.
second
I
receiver.
heard you.
all right. The other trade was,
It was just random.
Something
It
kind of
was
garbage.
Knox for a 4th.
but good work there. Knocks for 4th. What? Give me the 4th. I could draft a running back.
Yeah, that hit rate's looking pretty nice right now.
Um,
Oh,
And
that
then-
was me. I'll
and
take
then-
Knox. Tight end premium. Knox is on a different team.
Yeah, and
For a
TEP,
fourth?
I'll take that. Yeah.
on in the playoffs, we obviously talked about the one matchup. I don't know if we can go back to that screen.
Yeah, here, let me get
It's
there.
impossible.
Yeah, it's gone. We had Dave winning, which I think
For days.
I guess that was technically an upset, but he kind of handled that pretty sickly.
Don't
And then Brandon won.
Up, Dave.
Nice work. Moving on up. Tim won, and really tight matchup there between Cole and Troy. Troy eked it out. Oh, imagine losing by less than a point. That's like
Are we
just
still
needed-
waiting on sack corrections?
You just needed one catch from one of your guys, Cole. Don't eat yourself up about that, though. Anyway, next league.
Anyway, and your season's over.
That's it for 32.
No, so
I don't think it matters because Ash and Jason K are going to meet in the Super Bowl. So it's
no, you're probably right. Just so everyone's clear, though, because someone else pointed this out in another league. When I reseed, the 1 and the 2 flip-flops.
oh,
So this was reseeded because the 1 always plays the lowest seed. I can't move all this around.
what do you
So-
call a French guy in sandals? This is a stupid joke, by the way.
What?
Philippe Philop. Okay, next league.
Oh my God.
I told you it was stupid. I told you. I gave you warning.
Yeah.
So that's why we have these 2 that got moved.
Oh, that was. I wondered how I did that, but it was kind of.
All right.
Kyle, he's
Alright.
still logged in on your account, Jay.
Let's
Walking
move.
on thin ice, Kyle. You better watch yourself.
I think he stayed logged in because he was going to be here more often than you were. And
Yeah, remember when I said that? That was funny.
JB, what do we got?
Another Zach loss.
Oh my God, you're such a baby. Just get over it.
3 seconds and Josh Downs for Kyron.
What? Wait. Actually,
This was a move. This is kind of like we were talking earlier. Do you make a move to try to win down the playoffs that could backfire on you?
I'll be honest.
This-
I don't hate this for you actually.
You can flip. I think
But
you
you're
could,
like, how many starting running backs do I have there in those second round picks?
looks like 3.
Man, I don't
Three.
hate any.
So
If this is week 5, I'm like, what are you doing? But in the playoffs, I totally get it.
I think you can flip Kyron and get basically what you traded away.
Yeah, you could
Later
literally
on.
rental it back to Renee and she'd be happy.
I'm sure some people are. I think there's a lot of Kyron
Mhm.
haters out there, but I think a lot of people are more impressed with Kyron than they are Achan.
Yeah, I just-
like
you
down
can-
part of,
You
like
can move him if you want, and I think you can get pretty good return.
it just
It's not like you traded for JT, who's worthless.
But
it's just one of those.
Let's see,
Sometimes you make
entire
a
role
move
on
to
this
win
podcast
and it
is
doesn't
about
work
shit.
out, and then you kind of second guess yourself that you should have even done it.
How,
Hey, I'd buy him
how
from
close
you.
were you in this matchup, Zach?
Was Josh Downs the difference? Like, did you lose?
Well,
because-
Josh Downs wouldn't have been starting for me.
Yeah, so
He was
you're-
on my taxi.
so it's not a. I don't think you made a bad decision.
Didn't Kyron put up like 28
Except-
points?
No,
14.
no.
it didn't help him.
Oh, it was he didn't score a touchdown. That's why. He had 120 yards or something.
Oh well, you were going up against. I mean, it didn't matter.
Another Herbert versus Dobbs game, guys.
Oh, so gross.
That is
That's so unfortunate. Should have
Yeah.
started.
Okay,
Would you
Roy
would-
is like the jalopy going down the road that's like actively losing parts as it's going.
Did you say jalopy?
Yeah, it's a
What's that?
hardcore Midwestern term. It's a
Would you trade?
it's a
Would
trashy
you trade
car.
Kyron Williams for Terry McLaurin?
no.
No.
Wow.
You're not getting Kyron from me.
Yeah, you're gonna try hard.
I refuse to help you unless you really overpay.
Wow. Not tired. Not. So you'd rather have Kyron than Terry McLaurin?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I don't even know if I would do that.
You know
Send Terry
why
away.
we're all saying that? Because as good as Terry McLaurin is, Sam Howell is not it.
Well, how do you say
Adrian, would-
Lauren's good?
Huh?
I was just gonna say, in what world is Terry McLaurin that
No,
good?
he hasn't been doing nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, I like him. I like him a lot.
You can like him, but he's not a top 32 wide receiver.
All right. now.
Oh my God. That's.
I got no
No.
problem with you liking him. I like him, sure.
You don't think he's a top 32? Okay.
I think he's like hovering around 24 to 28 range for me right
That's-
now. It's
I'd say
literally almost 100% because of the quarterback situation.
So he'll be 28 when the season starts, 29 for the next season, for the most part. I still say he's got 2 really solid years at least.
He's not a
And I
burner
think
either.
I think
He's
he's really good.
He
He's
just
a
hasn't been
flex.
consistent.
a flex start.
He's had
Yeah.
he's definitely had a down year.
But in a wide receiver, in a start 3 wide receiver league, he's a
And
starter.
He's what is he? $4.
Yeah, he's a starter for every single roster. Every single roster,
Probably.
minus maybe one.
Hey, he's not a starter for that one roster we looked at earlier that had fucking
That was
Lamb,
Jay.
Hill, and Chase.
But this is well, right. But this is a start.
I agree.
Wide receiver.
I agree
I'm
with
not
you.
happy starting McLaurin.
I don't love it.
Yeah.
I don't love starting him.
Not
but
as your
I'm
wide receiver 3, even.
I'm starting him.
No, if I'm in
not
playoffs
happy
and I'm
about it.
starting Terry
Wow.
McLaurin, I'm not happy. I'm trying to trade him.
He is.
Wow.
Sorry, when I
Okay.
said the comment about 32, I was talking about like this year. He is wide receiver 35. Like you're.
Yeah.
I would much rather
Okay.
have Kyron in his production.
That's not where his dynasty.
In a
value is.
dynasty standpoint, I still have him higher than
Yeah.
other players that
Yeah.
are like 28.
Now, if you're Kyle, you would
I
probably
hope-
take that because he doesn't like running backs.
Wait till Earl goes to
fucking
Mexico,
hate
and you
running
could probably
backs,
get a
man.
lot for him.
I hope you guys are really right about Kyron, because that's going to be neat if he's
Wait, hold on.
this
I have
good next year.
something to say. I have something to say about this.
For another trash
Okay.
take.
Okay.
Okay. Never mind. That's all I had to say. So
Okay.
fuck.
Okay. Then let me just get to that page. Hey guys, I know how to get to the playoff bracket page. Pretty pumped about that. So Nick took care of business and he destroyed James. I knew James was a pretender. Sorry, James, but it was a you gave it all you had, dude. Trading, wavering, doing what you had to do, selling picks to compete. Hey, you were the 2 seed. Very, very well done.
He wasn't the 2 seed.
Yeah, in the playing game he was.
It says number 2, but
That's the playing game. He was the 4 or 5. That dude, I don't know which one it was.
He's the 5 seed because he was.
that makes a lot more sense.
Plans.
So Nick,
On the 4 and 5, I don't put them in that order. I just know that those
Okay.
two teams are playing.
Gotcha.
It doesn't
And
matter.
then Roy took care of business against Zach. That was a good win for Roy.
Go! Yes!
Kyle wanted that higher pick. It's now the 1-7.
Yes!
Dude, 107 is a good pick. It's like
I'm
a
not
great
gonna
pick.
lie. I'm pretty happy with how this season has gone for me.
You better do something with it because you got a good team next year.
It's so bad, man.
I wish I could have gone back and
I'm gonna be like,
Yeah.
listen,
untraded Herbert.
Renee
Herbert
played
at
for
103.
It's only an hour and a half. We got 30 more
Renee,
minutes.
not only are we still going, we still have 2 more leagues. Oh wait, no.
Fortunately,
No,
we
right,
got
this is
SF,
last
that's
week.
it.
Oh yeah, SF2 is the last league.
And then
Crush that out in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
pop this cherry 1 sec. That's it. So we got next week. Next week will be NFC will be Rizzo against Tim. Wow. Good sweet
Good job,
Lord.
Tim. We're talking a lot of shit about him before the podcast, and all of a sudden he's kicking ass.
Dude,
We're
remember
talking
how
shit about
bad
him.
I bashed Tim's team last year? I don't know if you guys remember,
yes, you did.
but you remember
I
it
remember.
was really rough.
Jason blasted him a ton last year.
Yes.
I know. It was really bad. Well, little did I know that he was like battling cancer. Who knew?
I
Hey,
did, but it's not something that I'm just gonna like.
Broadcast.
You couldn't have DM'd me and said, "Hey, buddy, he's
Listen,
got."
man,
he's got
I'm a
some
little
stuff
busy
going on."
to do football here. Okay, I'm dealing
I-
with some
I-
other shit.
And
he,
you
he
still
wasn't
said
wasn't
something.
watching the pods back then, so I
Tim
wasn't
just
really
took it like a
concerned about
champ
it.
the whole time too.
He must have. I'm sure he watches religiously. So Rizzo will take on Tim, and then Nick will take on Mache, and then Joe. I swear to God, if Joe beats Todd, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yes.
I want it to happen so bad.
Because if Joe beats Todd, you know he's gonna win the AFC.
Okay, these two insane AFC teams are kind of like sputtering a little bit here. The LA team, Roy and Todd, like they look a little vulnerable right now. Both of them.
What are you talking
Yeah,
about? He's starting Patrick Mahomes and DeVito. What could go wrong?
Jason's,
Yeah, Patrick
Jason's-
Mahomes might put up a goose
Jason's the
egg.
team to beat.
Yes, Jason's the team to beat.
I don't. You
scored
guys
more
Shut
must
up,
have
Jason.
seen
Shut
my-
up, Jason.
JW,
Mute
okay.
yourself. Kyle,
I was
mute
like-
Jason.
What do you mean, Jason K? I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I mean, I like my quarterbacks. That's fine.
They're
Hurts and
scoring a lot of points.
CMC's.
You're the number
CMC's
one
good.
scorer in the league.
Yes.
You
I'm
don't like your
pretty-
team. You're the number one fucking scorer in the league.
Would
Right.
you guys
Fucking guy
start?
has Christian McCaffrey and he's not happy.
It's just I just
The
don't
one
like the way
running
it
back.
looks on paper.
He doesn't.
I forgot you have Ford and Gibbs.
Would you guys start Hawkinson versus Bengals at the Bengals or Ferguson?
You're not.
At
No,
Bills.
you don't start Ferguson.
No.
You
Are
start
fucking
Hawkins. What kind of a
stupid?
question? Would you
This
start the
team
tight end
is
1 or the tight end
fucking
50,
nuts.
guys? Huh? What do you think? Huh?
Your wide receiver 8 is Garrett Wilson.
Wow, Elijah Moore almost scored as many points as Terry McLaurin.
Oh, really?
Adrian tracking.
Adrian, is your whole role just to like stir the pot? Is that what's happening here?
But
Hey, I'm going to say it now. I have a feeling that Ferguson is going to outscore Hawkinson next week.
Yeah, go ahead, start him, and I hope he
Still start
as a
Hawkinson.
result.
I'm not going to start him
Have to
because
start.
you guys are
Hawkinson.
jerks. All right, that's
Prescott.
Joe's winning this league, right?
No,
I would laugh my ass off if he did.
Well, don't we get pizza or something if he wins?
No. If Jason wins, we all get pizza.
Oh,
Which-
really?
I guarantee you, if I win a title, you will be getting pizza
So
at your.
I was trying to find.
serious?
I was trying to
Jay,
find our rankings.
trade with me.
You're not in this league.
Mitch.
I'm in JB.
I was
Oh,
trying to
really?
find our rankings, preseason rankings, so I could show how accurate.
Was I way off?
You weren't in it. It was just Adrian, Jason,
Oh.
and I. But I was trying to piece it together, and I just was in part of the 2-hour video that was Jason saying he's going to give everyone a pizza party if he wins the league. Because I, from the get-go, said he was the team to beat in the AFC, and he was trying to do his oh no, my team sucks.
He spent so much time bitching and moaning about how bad his
Jay,
team
Jay,
was.
the real question is: Are you
It's
going to
not
start?
that it's bad.
Are you going to start Jalen Hurts or Easton Stick?
Oh. Hey, listen, Easton Stick
It's
has
just
a great
that,
offense.
it's just that I don't feel super secure.
But
And I think it's my wide receivers.
I wouldn't feel super secure.
He
with
could literally have
Prescott, Hurts.
the number 1 and number
Ford.
2 quarterback, the top 4 wide receivers, and the top 2 running backs, and the number 1 tight end, and he'd still say, "Oh, I'm concerned about my team."
You're starting Ayuk, Diggs, and then a bona fide stud in McLaurin. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really thought you were going to take a left turn and go Elijah Moore.
So I'm super nervous.
You should be.
But no, Renee, I am going to personally take your order and call the restaurant that you choose and
Oh my
order you
gosh.
a pie.
Oh my
That's
gosh!
I'm not turning in receipts. I'm ordering a pie for you guys. That's how I'm gonna do it.
I'm so excited. I haven't
I'll
been
do it
this
for
happy
24
in
of you.
27
Trust
years.
me. I want to take home none of this
Really
money.
depressing.
I want to take home none of it. I just want the title. That's it.
All right,
That's it.
on to
That's
the
all I
next league because we are past my bedtime.
Go
Okay.
to bed, Kyle. We don't need you.
SF2.
See you
It's actually
guys.
his league. I doubt he's even looked at it.
But
That's
we're just
super
talking
cool.
about trades in the
Trades.
matchup.
Jonathan Taylor, Amari Cooper, Christian. This is a big fucking trade. Pat
This is so
Fryer
gross.
Muth.
This is Zach just trying
A
so
second,
hard.
a third for CeeDee Lamb and Jacoby Myers.
I do want to hear your take on that,
Who?
Me?
Zach?
Kyle. Zach too, sure, but Kyle. He wasn't here. He didn't.
This is
Kyle
already
a
hates
very, very heavy trade. I don't usually like sending this many assets over for a single player. Jacoby Myers is not a 0, but like this is for Lamb. This is not
You're right.
for Jacoby Myers.
No, I think he really wanted Myers.
Lamb was just a side piece.
Yeah. For me, are you still in playoffs here? Or did
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
not?
he is.
You are. Did you win this week?
He
He had
was.
a bye.
No.
Oh, he had a bye.
Zach
Yeah.
plays
Right.
me next week.
It makes sense for me because all those players, except Fryermuth's back finally, but all those players are like some form of injured or out.
And I have Laporta, so which is why I was able to deal Fryermuth.
So this is gonna be a problem for you probably next year.
I don't
But-
think so.
He lost 4 starter players.
You can flip Lamb for a lot. I
Sure.
think Zach.
Apparently, you can flip him for Taylor, Cooper.
Hey, I have an IR violation.
I think. Oh, disqualified. I think Zach wins this trade because at the end of the day, CD Lamb.
Yeah,
is,
this made your team better this year. And if you're if you're in playoffs,
this is. I don't think. I mean, anything could happen. I don't think Zach was going to win next week if he didn't get CD Lamb.
Definitely not. Yeah.
But
no, I had to have a
had to
hope,
get
in my opinion.
I think you did a really good job going out and selling valuable pieces for Lamb. I would rather have Lamb.
I think the Packers
in this
did
trade, I take the
pretty
CD
well,
Lamb side.
I will say this. I will say this. If I have Jamar Chase, which Jake does, and I'm not competing, I would sell Lamb for this right here.
That was the other thing. Jake has he's pretty limited at running back. It does give him a lot of depth and not bad depth.
These are all these are all starters.
Those 4 starters, yeah.
So I'm not saying it's a bad trade for Jake, but I just think you have CD
you
Lamb.
wanted Lamb.
I just think you don't trade CD Lamb. Personally, this would be like the height of CD Lamb's value, and I think you could have got more if you're Jake. But
I don't know how you get
I don't
more.
think you can get more for that. I mean, that's giving up a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot to give up.
I think you can get more. That's just me.
Not one of those pieces.
So what did you offer?
Both teams. I offered a couple different things, and Jake was
Renee
like, I feel like we're
offered,
really close. Andrews and ETN.
To me, this is if we're gonna put it in pick only terms, this is basically 3 firsts and 3 seconds on the Taylor side.
3 firsts.
Yeah, I'm taking this. This is. I see this in my inbox. I'm pausing and probably accepting.
Who are you putting at 3 firsts?
I have Jonathan Taylor as a first and a second. Mari Cooper is just a little bit less than a first. Same with Christian Kirk. Pat Freiermuth is an early second, and then we got 2 seconds in there already.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of.
I look at that as CD Lamb for a first and 5 seconds, 6 seconds.
But in a 3 receiver league, start 3 receiver guys. We got to value wide receivers even more in a 3 receiver. That is hardcore. You're starting Cooper and Kirk with confidence.
In a 12-team 3 receiver league, it is different because there's only 36 receivers that have to be started every week versus 48. So for 48. This 48, it's 16-team league if you did 3.
But you only start 2.
Yeah, so 12. I don't know. Oh, I see what you're saying. 32 versus 36. Yeah. I see. I think both teams win on that trade. Me personally, I would rather have the CD side.
This is
both teams trade. Walk away from that feeling very good about themselves.
I agree.
I would just rather have CD.
I tried I can't say so hard. I tried until Rizzo completely shut me down to get the double stack and get Dak on my team and have Dak, Lamb, Hurts, and AJ Brown.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Probably still would have lost.
Damn.
All right, what do we got?
The Dave Reed Cardinals. Just
upset
I thought you said you did this randomly.
It was. I know for a fact that he was the 2 of the division and he was the 3.
Yeah. Dave is 10-7. Andy is 11-6.
Andy was a team a lot of people were scared about because
it's really good.
It's a good team.
I think Seahawks was my dark horse way back when we did
doubleheader.
Seahawks. Seahawks outperformed their weekly average there, and just Cardinals Cardinals just had a better week.
Zach loses again to the Steelers.
But that's not Zach.
Yeah. Who is it? It's Casey lost to Brian S.
Kansas City in my league did not have a good week.
Steelers.
I think you dodged that shit.
Steelers. Casey, you could have had Ayuk. But you wanted Higgins.
Ayuk. Wait, what?
He passed on trading for Ayuk.
Okay, well, what were you asking though?
Higgins in his first.
For Ayuk? Oh, that's pretty spicy. That's a lot. That's expensive.
Okay, well, how about this? Higgins is $28 and Ayuk is $11.
Actually, I say that, but then I traded
until the offseason.
I love Ayuk, but people are very, very high on him right now, and they need to come down.
Yes,
I did buy Ayuk at a premium a couple weeks ago.
I love him, but people are way high on him.
What type of premium?
Well, it was Kirk and Laporta for Ayuk.
Ouch.
It was in this league.
Yeah.
Did you make the playoffs?
No, I
Fuck no.
He wasn't in the playoff. Like
I wasn't in the playoffs, but I also wasn't fighting for 101. So I was kind of just like the 105,
Start making
104, something like that.
Start making moves now to help you out next year.
Yeah, I was never trying to like hard lose, and I was never really making playoffs.
Competitive.
Can I get Ayuk back, please?
Yeah, just send me Laporta plus or something.
You wanted T. Higgins and a first for Ayuk?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Pretty expensive.
That's insane.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I also had nothing to lose.
Yeah, I do have Ayuk as a wide receiver 1 in 12 team.
Yeah, I have him as anywhere between.
You have him as a
wide
as a
receiver,
top. You have him as a
wide
top
receiver
12 wide
11.
receiver dynasty.
Sir, I do.
wide receiver 11 to 13 in dynasty. I'll take that. He's $11. He's going to go up, but he's not going to go up that much. I bet he won't be as much as Higgins.
I have Higgins as like a mid wide receiver.
What is hold on?
This
He's
is where
$11.
Ayuk is wide receiver 13 right now, and he has missed a game.
13. Okay.
That's in one less game than everybody else.
Yeah, I don't see that. That's. I mean, what if he advanced? What if he's the 110? What if he's the 111? What if he's the 112? So if he's the 110, 11, 12. So
It's top 15 for whatever.
So now you're going. Now you're
Go to
taking.
22.
You're shedding.
If he stays
You're
at 13,
shedding-
I'll go to 22.
You're shedding $17. That also helps you pick up waivers, trade for maybe another
Okay, hold on.
salary.
We haven't talked about this in like a couple weeks at least. Salary cap difference matters a whole fuck ton, especially in playoffs. So
Yeah.
that does change things.
No shit. I'm with you. You got to make moves, and if you're limited, you're losing at waivers. You're not winning these guys. You can get quarterback DeVito. I mean, your quarterback goes down, and you can't make room. Hey, DeVito's been.
You got bigger problems if you're starting Tommy DeVito, and I get it that he.
I just
popped
lost
off
to
the
Tommy DeVito.
No,
Yeah.
you're not watching enough football. Pickle, sick him.
Yeah, you're obviously watch the
I'm
football
gonna get
game.
All
Watch
four
football.
of you to defend
Pickle,
Tommy
sick
DeVito on YouTube.
I'm
Four
just
of
saying,
you.
if you can't at least play defense to keep DeVito away while Herbert just went down and your opponent is now strapped, what's he going to do? You're shedding a $28 salary. Hey, you're giving your first? Fuck your first. How dare you even have your first? Casey, you deserve to lose, brother. You have your first still.
I wouldn't give
Casey
that.
won.
I wouldn't pay that.
I can
Hey,
understand.
then you go and you counter. There was no counter or nothing. And Casey,
Second, I would see a second. You can.
No, hold on.
T. Higgins in a
Casey
second
won.
for
Casey
Ayuk.
won this week, guys.
A
Casey
late
won
second.
this week.
I'm not taking in a late second.
Did Casey win this week?
Yes.
See,
No.
no, he didn't.
Yes.
No, he didn't.
He beat Andy.
No, that's not
No.
true.
Can you read?
Oh fuck, that's Dave. I'm sorry, guys. Let me try
It's
again.
not
Hold on.
Dave.
No, I was like, I
It's also
thought
not Dave.
Casey was the Cardinals.
I'm just saying.
I
And it's
put him this.
guaranteed to win, but
How
that
much-
might have got him
How
the
much did
win.
Ayuk put up?
Probably
He did well.
15,
No,
More than that. I thought.
16. Sorry,
Not as much difference as Higgins.
16.
was it only 16?
Yeah, Higgins. I mean, Higgins had 9. I'm not saying Higgins is like better.
He still loses. It doesn't matter. He still loses.
lost. He still would have lost.
It's just a tough like. I just
You
think
still
I just
deserve
think
to
you're-
lose. You still
He-
deserve to lose in the
Are you
playoffs.
fucking
if
kidding?
if
He
you
lost
have your
because of
first.
Herbert. He lost because of Herbert. He didn't lose because of that trade. He lost
He
because
lost
of
because
Herbert.
he didn't make moves,
He
man.
still lost by 20 points.
Actually, it looks
Herbert
like,
got him 3 points. He
Yeah,
lost
looking at
because
this, it
of
looks
Herbert.
like he did as well as he could. I mean, he got 21 points from Isaiah fucking Likely.
Yeah.
There's no way you should have a first. You shouldn't have that currency while you're in the playoffs. I mean, his team wasn't hitting. It's not like he was super locked at every position,
He did
right?
it.
I mean,
Referee.
what is it? What are we doing here?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, man.
I'm
He's
saying-
got Christian McCaffrey and Bijan. Like that's about as locked as you can. Fucking
Christian
get.
Watson. He's got to start 3 wide receivers.
He should have traded that first couple weeks ago. Package
He
that.
lucked out with Nuke getting 27 points. Higgins shouldn't feel comfortable going in, and then who? Jalen Hyatt, Zay Jones,
This
Darius
is a
Slayton,
classic.
RBS?
I
This is
agree
a
with
classic
you.
wild card. I don't know if I'm gonna win situation.
No.
My team's not good enough to win. I don't think I can add one piece to push me over the edge. I'm not getting rid of my first. That's my guess. But if I'm him
Why?
and I'm competing, well, because if you pay, okay, he gives up his first and he gives up
Hey,
T Higgins
Pickle,
for Ayuk.
You're
Now
not lighting your first on fire. You're drafting it today.
You're
not-
overpaying. You're overpaying at this point in the season.
You're overpaying at this point in the season. You're not going to get fair value.
Everyone that's trying to get that first
And
is
you,
like,
I mean,
I don't know.
and you
it
know
could be
that
a
because you're
110.
offering Ayuk for a first and Higgins. Like that's an
It's
overpay.
only so
he's
where
drafting
does
Ayuk.
where do you guys have Higgins?
guys.
And I'm gonna say, this was definitely counterable. Hey, counter with the 25 first. I would have taken that.
This is where Jason can't see that he always asks for huge overpays for his wide receivers
This feels
Yes.
very
and
similar
doesn't
to-
know why people don't want to take the.
This
take
is
the
very
trades.
similar to Amon-Ra St. Brown last week. right? I
Higgins
sent
can
Dell-
score just as many points as Ayuk in any given week.
Yeah, but he hasn't.
I
and
had
he
to
has-
pay. I had to pay
No. He hasn't. He hasn't
for Gabe
this
Davis.
year. Ayuk is doing something he's never done. So
Right, but-
that's buying high.
But
and
there's
Higgins is on
also
a down year.
there's also no reason to expect that it's a mirage because he's done it all year.
Who?
Ayuk.
Yeah, he said. I know.
Yeah,
I'm
but-
saying
And he's
had a
shown
solid year.
signs of doing what he's doing.
Higgins has also been out, and he hasn't had Burrow.
Higgins is also always going to be the 1B at best.
So
It
guys,
doesn't matter.
you wouldn't trade a $28
funny.
Higgins and a 25 first for an $11 Ayuk. You wouldn't do that.
No.
No.
I would do that in context. I would do that.
Why not?
Especially,
Why wouldn't you do it?
look at his team though. What I'm saying is, he gets rid of that and he gets Ayuk to Higgins, and there's probably a lot of people that have Ayuk and Higgins not that far apart. So
Yeah,
he's like,
I'm
all
not-
right, I'll pay the premium. I
That's
get
not
Ayuk.
true. I don't think that's. I don't think
Right.
that's
It's-
true.
It's about
Right.
50-50. Some
Salary,
people
salary.
think Ayuk is the next coming of God, and which
Well-
is you and me, Jay, and then the rest of them are like,
He's good.
He's
a
I'm
wide
not.
receiver.
Listen,
Like running back either.
I am the highest on Higgins in this room right now.
Yeah.
That's not true. Not if you're offering Ayuk and a first for Higgins. That's
Oh
just
no. I assure you that's true. And we can go one by one, but I already know. I know this room.
Where do
And
you
I
have
know
him?
I'm higher.
yeah, where do you have him?
Higgins? Just like a rough.
Yeah,
You
are you
give a
asking for
tier,
a
a tier, or a number.
Stand by.
He's pulling up his
Um,
sheet.
Here we go. I got him Higgins 19.
Oh, what? I have it
And
18 to 20.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I probably had him at
You know
16
what?
to 18.
You know what 19 is when you just said 18 to 20?
You literally have him lower than Pickle.
I would have had him somewhere in that 16 to 18, about the same as you, maybe a smidge higher. What I'm saying is like,
but
I'm saying
I'm
is-
going out buying him. I'm going out rostering him. I'm advocating for him. I love him, but that's not what this is about. The salary is a big deal. How much do we value 25 first? Like a
Not a
20.
first.
Oh, I actually, okay, I'll tell you what. I value a random 25 first more than a playoff 24 first.
You
right now.
you are mutable, but that is fine. But on the street, a 25 first isn't.
it depends. It should be probably
Yes,
worth
it is.
less,
Hoping-
but there are a lot of people that are say a first is a first. So I'm not. I mean, I've talked to people. It's like a 25 first, 24 first. To them, it's the same because it's a first round pick. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying
No.
it's wrong. I'm not
Stop
saying
it.
it's right or wrong. Listen, don't
They
hear
don't
what
say
I'm-
that.
Don't hear
You
what I'm not saying.
You send me that
No.
person, I'll give you $100.
All right, you know why I think
All right.
25 firsts are worth more than playoff 24 firsts? Because no person on this planet knows where their 25 first is going to be. They could be the best fucking team in the world now, and their 24 is a 112 almost
So I
guaranteed.
offer you, I say, hey, I'll give you a 24 first or a 25 first. I'm in the playoffs. You would prefer the 25 first. I think you're in the minority. Not I think.
I
You are in the
know I'm
minority.
in the minority, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, but we don't care where you're at.
I
You
agree
don't
with
care
Kyle.
where I'm at. We're talking about street value, market value.
I think
That's for the
I
whole
think Jay,
crowd.
you'd be surprised how many people value just a first as a first. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying I do that. I'm not saying you do that. There are a lot of people. It's like a 25 first is a first round pick.
I will
I'm
take
gonna
the
value-
gamble
I'm gonna
over
value
a
it
random
as such.
25 that it will be higher than the 111.
And you know
I
what?
agree that people are stupid.
The
I
other
agree.
thing-
with
the
you.
other
That's
thing
not
is
what I'm
that-
saying.
So
That's-
in a
we
vacuum,
don't agree, then.
in a vacuum, it's easier to debate. But outside of the vacuum, the person that's selling all of their picks to win now is selling their 25 first for less than the 24 first. So I'm getting a
Yes.
random 25 first
Yeah.
less
cheaper
than.
than I'm getting a playoff
It's-
24
Right.
first.
So
Right.
look at this. At the beginning of the season, I traded KC Higgins. I traded him Higgins for DJ Moore and James Cook.
Oh,
You got to.
So
yeah,
I mean,
baby.
That's all.
Higgins has
But
value.
you got-
Higgins has value. I mean,
And
How
now
do
I
you-
think
how do you-
Higgins and Ayuk are kind of even.
How are you not countering? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying take my deal.
I
I'm not
did
saying
take a
it's a
second.
fair deal. What I initially even said is not even counterable.
But
You'd
Ayuk in
rather
a second.
start Higgins than Ayuk.
what I'm saying.
Maybe your initial offer was so far off from him that he didn't
It
think
wasn't.
he could send
That's not what
anything
he
to
said.
counter.
He didn't say
Okay.
that.
Then I don't know.
What do you say?
He said, "I'll think about it." He said, "I'll think about it." And I don't blame him. He knows what he's doing. He beats me a lot here and there, right? In multiple leagues, he's very good. I'm just saying, going into your matchup, and it's easy for me to say because he lost. He's very good. He's as good or better than me. I'll say that he beats me.
Like slut shaming him right now.
To not counter, and I know if he won, maybe I don't even say all this. But when you lose, it's like, well, you didn't even counter for the better player, the better dynasty asset.
No, I don't.
See,
I don't say that's the better dynasty yet.
It's pretty.
Dynasty asset.
If you got last
Like
year,
Ayuk
Like,
Ayuk and
we all
Higgins-
have him ranked higher than Higgins.
Yeah, I have.
last
I
I
year,
think it's pretty easy to say,
last
And then
year,
if Higgins goes somewhere else,
but that doesn't really matter. Sorry, Pickle, go.
back his first halves every week. Last year, Higgins and Ayuk finished back to back 15-16. Ayuk's moved up a little bit. Higgins moved down a little bit. If I'm Casey, my team, I know I'm starting 3 pretty iffy wide receivers. I have my own first. I don't want to trade away my first and a guy who is marginally
So
worse.
counter. So counter.
So he might, but here's the thing: he's
not
looking at his
margin-
team.
No matter what he counters, you're not going to accept it because
So what? Maybe I will.
no,
Okay,
because
we'll
if
get
his
it.
We all know
his
you
counter
wouldn't accept
was
that.
Higgins and a third for Ayuk, you say get the hell out of here.
Well, but that
Even
wouldn't
a
have been a
second.
count.
Even
He
Higgins
knows
in a
that that's
second, you
too
would have
far.
said no.
But
He would've
what to Mitch's point, they're that close in value, in production. Why would you offer more than a third to?
But they're not close in production.
But here's
because
the thing. Here's the
Higgins
thing.
been hurt.
You might think
It
that
doesn't matter
necessarily
why.
mean-
I don't care if he has
But
gum.
you're buying him for a
Doesn't
reason,
matter.
so you do think he's worth. They're that close in
You're
production.
not going out and buying Higgins because he's worthless.
Yeah.
Like wide receiver 18 dynasty to wide receiver 12 dynasty is almost the same player.
Can be.
Just not to derail this heated conversation, but Khalil Shakir did put up more points.
Oh my gosh.
Hey Casey, I wish you would have won, but
Just this week, Zach. Just this week.
since you lost, Casey, I'm very happy that you didn't trade because I like Higgins too. Avi,
And now Casey has his own first. What I was
He's
trying to get to
23.
is if I'm
You're gonna-
Casey and I'm
you're gonna
looking
have
at
to
my
expand it
team,
a little bit.
maybe I already think I don't really have a chance. I'm not going to give up my first. I'm just going to keep it and say I like Higgins. I like my first. I don't think Ayuk is that much of an upgrade. I don't think Ayuk is a difference maker for me to win the week.
And that's probably the conversation he had. You're right.
Just that's what I would think.
I'm
Rashee
with
Rice is wide receiver 29. That's insane.
Who is?
Better.
Rashee Rice.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I
Tell
did
him,
not realize he was having that good of a season.
bro. Tune in. Tune in.
What
to
am I
NDL.
doing? I'm
Jay,
watching
Jay,
women's
pick 'em.
volleyball this year, which
Watch
is
some
actually awesome.
football.
by the way.
I watch so much. I almost guarantee that I watch
No,
more football.
I
than
was
you
I was
people.
saying that to Kyle.
Oh, okay.
What did you say? I'm sorry. Can you say it one more time?
I said Jay, sick him. Watch some football.
Oh, Jay Sickham. Oh, I thought you said Jay, and then I didn't hear Sickham, and then I heard
Oh,
watching
yeah,
football.
yeah,
But yeah. All right. Anything else, guys?
What a good pod.
Hey, that was super fun. I don't
Well,
know.
have
fun
another-
one on here, isn't it?
Do we have
I
another
don't know
week?
if anyone else will enjoy this.
Next
I-
year we will.
I think I would listen to it.
We're going into the 2.5-hour pods next year, guys.
Guys, people keep asking me, "Oh, what pod are you on?" I'm like, it's not. For
Don't
you.
even.
Yeah,
People ask me the same thing.
I record a podcast. It's for nobody.
Like 20 people watch it every
what
week.
What kind of podcast you do? Fantasy football podcast, specifically to my leagues.
If you want to hear like 2 hours of
The
ice
fantasy-
cold takes.
The fantasy footballers started that way, and look where they are now.
They
Hey,
did.
listen, all we have to do is all shave our heads so we match, and then we're good to go.
And we all have to move to the same place.
Oh yeah,
No.
I don't
That would
really
be
want
fun.
to.
Well, two of
All
us
right,
are
guys.
close to Wisconsin.
I'm rolling out. Much love to you guys. It's been super fun. Catch you in